Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unscripted Access, episode number 90. You're here with your host, Nick McCandless. On this week's show, I also have Anthony Ta
Hello.
and Bronson Fiore.
What's up, everybody? Also, real quick thing I want to say before we get this started. Someone commented on my latest Bronson rants, a jargon meter. Uh, I talked about a lot of heavy shit in that video. He's like, "Thanks for this, Bronson. I was bullied in high school, and hearing this is really comforting." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. But shit gets better. So glad I could make your day."
Oh, that's awesome to hear. That is awesome to hear. Hopefully, we see you comment more. We'd definitely love you. I don't think we've seen you comment before, so we'd definitely love to see you more active in the community. And send us questions for the podcast. We'll answer pretty much anything. So, cool.
I will answer literally anything.
So
Even hate mail. Bronson does a pretty good job with that.
oh gosh, some of the questions we used to get back in the day. Oh,
You are
Oh.
only doing. Bronson literally reads it exactly how you type it. So if you're going to use caps, he'll make you look like an idiot for using caps.
yeah, but cool. So let's go ahead and start with probably one of the bigger news stories this week. Microsoft announced that they will be releasing an Xbox One without the Kinect for $399 on June 9th. I just want to say, I called it. I called it. And I called it. Also, immediately
This is a bad
afterwards,
idea.
Immediately afterwards, I had tweeted saying, look at this. Let's analyze this for a second. Microsoft releasing the Xbox One without the Kinect, but they're announcing this, but they're not releasing it until June 9th, yet they're taking pre-orders. Why are they doing this? Clearly, it's because the interface is currently just trash if you don't use the Kinect.
No,
it's
yeah,
bad.
no,
So what
it's
they're going
the
to do
worst.
is Microsoft's had this in the works. So what they're doing is I guarantee you guys that come Microsoft's conference, they're going to show off a new UI during their press conference, or they're going to announce it around E3. That way, those who buy their Xbox One without the Kinect will have that pre-installed. That way, they do not have that issue.
This tweeted out this. I've come to rely on Kinect for Xbox One main menu. Navigation is pretty awful without it. I think they'd have to do a new fucking interface. Like, they have to. Because without Kinect, oh my god, that interface is bad. It's so bad. It's like fucking impossible to find anything.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
no,
who called it first? Because
I've been saying it forever now.
I've been saying it forever too. And I'm just like, who said it first? Sorry, I think that's an irrelevant question now. But yeah, we saw this coming, or yeah, I really had a strong feeling this was going to happen because say they were like, Kinect is required for Xbox. Oh, we don't like that. Okay, Kinect be unplugged. But it is extremely important to the Xbox One ecosystem. Like, they were trying to tell everybody, look, the Kinect is a core essential to Xbox One, which they have proven by the fact that you can't get to anything on the interface quickly without using it.
Well,
Mission accomplished there. But however, the moment they said, oh, you can unplug it, that just screamed in my head, you've got $100, the PlayStation 4 has $100 cheaper than you. But by simply allowing it to be unplugged the Kinect, and the fact that you're being blown out of the water sales-wise, there's going to be a cheap Xbox.
So here's one thing that I wanted to bring up for a sec here is, live streaming is becoming a big deal with these systems. I think it's like half of all owners of either of these systems live stream. And I do live streaming on PS4 without a camera, even though I eventually intend to get a camera. But I'm more inclined to live stream on the Xbox because it came with a fucking camera. And I'm starting to feel more and more like, at least if you are the type to live stream, a camera is practically fucking required. So that, you could argue that you could argue that the PS4 is really such and such price. But I mean, that's the same argument that the that was used against the 360 back in the day. Well, it's like, well, if you put Wi-Fi on the 360 and HD DVD and da 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 da, it's it's as expensive as a PS3. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I I don't know how to feel about this because I think a lot of things about Kinect are really neat, and even if only a couple of games use it well, it still has some really cool like navigation features. And I also really like Xbox Fitness was really cool. I like a lot of stuff about the Kinect, and this means less developers are going to be inclined to use it, which means it's probably going to be like the original Kinect, where we're going to get like 2 or 3 games that are really fucking awesome, and then it's going to be used to pause movies. Great.
Yeah, like the moment they said you couldn't unplug it, I always thought, man, this is gonna be like they're gonna ditch it and make a lower priced Xbox One because for one thing, when you're competing, you want to sell more. So how do you sell more? Make it cheaper. Well, how do you make it cheaper? Well, what's the most expensive thing on it? Probably like or one of the most expensive things, that sensor. Take that away, poof, your price goes down quite a lot. Especially when you're talking about how much the Kinect does. Kinect sensors, or at least that particular Kinect sensor, you can kind of tell it's not really a cheap thing to make. Like 1080p cameras, depth sensor cameras.
This brings up an interesting point of how much they're going to charge for it. Now, I can say that I'm 99% sure what the price is going to be, just simply because recently I had an issue with my Kinect. And I got an email, and they said, hold on your credit card for the amount of $149. So pretty much that's what they're valuing the new Kinect. That's $149. So my guess is we're gonna have the Xbox One without Kinect $399. We'll have the Xbox One with Kinect for $499, and then we'll have the Kinect sold separately for $149.99.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Wasn't the original Kinect sensor sold at $150 also?
Yeah.
See, like with the 1080p cameras and the depth sensor and the fact that they claim that thing could, check your heartbeat. Yeah, 150 seems more reasonable than the original sensor because I look at the original sensor, like I actually own one. I look at the original sensor, like how did they charge 150 for this thing again? It's just a piece of plastic with some cameras on it.
Oh yeah, I remember
and a
announced the
microphone.
price for the Kinect. People were like, "What?"
I paid $100 for mine because I bought mine used, and it was literally just to play Dance Central. Worth every penny. Dance Central's the shit.
I mean, well, yeah, sure. In that case, maybe. But as far as from a technical perspective, it was just like they charged and to be honest, when the Kinect first came out, the Guinness Book of World Records holder for a piece of electronic that sold the fastest was like an iPhone 4S, and the Kinect broke that, which boggled my mind for a while. But as far as saying it costs $150, I looked at the thing and I could never figure out why it originally cost $150 because
it's because they knew they could make money at that price, and people would buy it.
I didn't think that many people would buy it because it was kind of like one of those. I mean, to me, it looked a bit. From what they showed me,
it's the same people who bought the Wii. Like I personally actually thought the Wii was fucking genius when it came out, but everyone was like, no, it looks fucking retarded. At least most people I knew outside of hardcore Nintendo fans. And then fucking you couldn't find a Wii for 2 years. Like, you could not walk into a store and buy a Wii. Like, just buy a fucking Wii until...
Every Tuesday morning is a midnight launch because everyone was lining up for one.
And, the Kinect was kind of the same way. I worked at GameStop a year after the Kinect came out, and it was still, on Black Friday, we got to, it was like, well, we're out of used Kinects, and we are almost out of new ones. We have 2 left in the back. And that was 3 hours into my shift. Yeah, it was a, it was, it was fucking madness. It wasn't Wii madness, but it was still, for a peripheral, it's madness. Also, update from Bremen. Yes, free cake at work.
Whoa.
I wish my job gave me free
Now, mind
cake.
you, is that cake real?
Yeah, no, it's legit. Although my job gave me pizza last week, so I guess I shouldn't complain.
Oh, man, that was a terrible reference I tried to make there.
The cake, yeah. Cake is a lie. Ha.
Whoa.
Old joke is old.
Yeah.
That game is 7 fucking years old, Anthony. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
It's 7 years old this September.
Old people. But anyways, Yeah,
Oh,
like again,
Christ.
I could never figure out why the original Kinect sensor cost $150 because you look at it, it's basically plastic with some SD cameras on it. An SD. Actually, to be honest, the color sensor, the color. Actually, here's a fun fact. Did you know the color, the RGB video feed, like the regular video camera on the thing, it can actually record, I believe, 1280 by 960 resolution. That thing can film at like 720p in a way, which is pretty darn cool. The reason why no one ever used it is because one, to process such an image of that size takes a lot of power, which the 360 does not have, and two, you can't really. It's like 12 frames per second because, hey, USB 2.0. Anyways, fun fact there.
It's look, they knew they could sell it for that price. Like that's
Microsoft probably
and
made
even
a huge.
if they couldn't, they also knew that well, if we can't sell at this price, we can just cut price really quickly.
Yeah, like still, like you look at it, it's like the build quality is not exceptional. Like with the current Kinect, the 2.0, the Xbox One Kinect, that actually looks like it has
it's heavy.
It looks quite nice. It's not like it used some cheap plastic or something like that, unlike the old Kinect. So like 150
I will say
makes more sense.
The Xbox One was like, you can tell that they very much said we cannot, like, I feel as though the design philosophy going to this machine was we cannot have what happened last time. Nothing fancy with the fucking box. We're not making this thing small. Like, I feel to me like someone was super pissed going into a meeting because Microsoft lost literally billions of dollars on the Red Ring and said, all right, fuckers, this thing is going to be huge. It's going to have an external power supply, and it is going to fucking have the best cooling imaginable. Like, half this thing is hollow. Like, maybe you can hear it. Fucking thing's hollow. At least on the right side. Like, just so...
Yeah, airflow.
Yeah, like, it's got great
airflow. It's like,
airflow.
just put, like, the biggest heat sink they can fit in there.
Pretty much. Like, and then, like... I mean, this thing is as big, maybe a little smaller than the original Xbox, except the original Xbox had a built-in power supply, not a brick.
Man, if you want to talk about cooling problems, man, my mind just had a hard time fathoming how they came up with the original 360 cooling solution, and then how they tried to fix it later, which is like the jerry-rigged, like this extra. Okay, so the original cooling solution.
Let's have a heat sink, go to the disk drive. That's super smart.
So it's like, okay, so we've got the CPU, and we're gonna put this metal heatsink onto it that cools the CPU, and we're gonna put like this fan shroud. Okay, fair enough. The CPU heatsink looks all right. Looks okay for its size, even though this thing is a tri-core processor.
Which at the time was nuts.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, maybe the CPU has enough. The GPU, the thing that, you would imagine does the most work because HD gaming, right? That thing was squished under the disk drive, so you couldn't make the heatsink very tall. So you didn't have much area on the actual thing to cool it off. So the thing melted, and of course you get red rings of death. So, Microsoft...
and the motherboard, and because the 360's case was not flat... Another problem was when the motherboard would get really, really hot from not being cooled well, it would start to crack and shit. And warp because it's not on a flat surface.
Yeah, so that's the original Xenon.
Also by the Xbox One.
Yeah. So that was like the original board, and then that was the Xenon, they called it. The next revision of the motherboard they had was called the Zephyr, which was the one I got originally back in 2007. So what did they do with it? Well, they stuck in an HDMI port, which is nice. And what they did with the cooling was that they didn't bother to fix the solder. What they did was that they jerry-rigged this GPU heatsink by putting the heat pipe extension over to the CPU heatsink, or at least like put this extra attachment to just behind the CPU heatsink, so that way it gets a little bit of extra cooling. And I'm just like, really?
Oh man.
Yeah, that was the cooling they came up with, and then they got Falcons and so on, and then they finally started shrinking the little transistors on the thing, and they finally put it off.
I bought a 360. I bought a launch one, and then I sold that off after breaking a bunch, and got another 360 in late 2009, and it was a Pro, and I'm guessing it was probably manufactured in early 2009. So what was that one? Do you remember what motherboard that was?
Early 2009 is I think there was the Falcon, and then there was Vesper.
Jasper? Yeah.
Jasper, that's the right one. Okay, so the Falcon was like the first time they tried shrinking something, and I believe they shrunk the CPU, but they didn't shrink the GPU. But at that point, they finally got their soldering correct, so it sort of worked.
Yeah. I'm. Man, just. I think.
And then with the Jasper, which is what I have for my 360 quote Elite, it was the last. I think it was probably the last original Xbox model before they came out with the Slims. Those they finally shrunk both of them down to 65 nanometers. I'm
gonna be honest. I think that part of Xbox 360 sales are kind of horseshit is because people like me who bought 360s. Like I had 3 fucking Xboxes. Because I bought my launch unit, and then I bought a Jasper unit, and then after Jasper was running incredibly hot and loud, and was probably going, and I was willing to bet it was going to break. I don't know if it ever did. I'll ask John. Though John ended up selling it too, so that 360 has been sold 3 times.
I think what you got was a Falcon. Is the Jasper? Yeah. I have a Jasper, and it doesn't run hot. Not at all.
Okay,
it actually runs pretty well. Very well, I should say. This drive's still a bit noisy, but it's very good.
Yeah, that was my main problem, is the fucking disk drive. Like, holy shit.
Oh my goodness, those disk drives. Okay, so in addition to them being very, very, very noisy, they were broken. Naturally. They were naturally broken.
Yeah, no, were you, like, I know...
Your old Xbox, you had to hit it to get it to give up your game.
Yeah, not only that, but I remember that we'd throw Rock Band parties in high school, because Rock Band was new at the time. And, like, I would have to hit my 360 disc tray to get it open for us to play Rock Band, and, like, totally just oh my god, just what the fuck, Microsoft? I'm trying to think what else
they built, like, the design, like, they built that thing cheaply.
Well, they also built it for 2005. Like, they wanted to get that. They wanted to be out the door first, and they also wanted to. They also like they thought it was not. They thought it was gonna be a normal console generation where it's like, oh, okay, this thing needs to last until 2009, and be high tech until 2009, and then Sony went kind of nuts and. Like, I mean, there's some shit in the original PS4s that's like, really? Like, this is, like, I mean, Blu-ray kind of says it all, right? Like, no one needed fucking Blu-ray when in 2006 when that thing launched. No, people didn't need Blu-ray until, like, I'd say, like, 2010 is when Blu-ray started to, like, really be, like, oh, shit, like, we really need this for games. Like, that's when we started to see, like, multi-disc 360 games.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 13, that was a pretty big one.
Yeah, I mean, like...
You got it on 3 discs, and the game still didn't look as good as the PS3 version.
It didn't look as good, yeah. And I, like, me personally, like, I, like... You know how it feels weird playing certain games on a different console?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what it would have been for me, playing Final Fantasy on a fucking Xbox. I would have been like, okay, sure, this is weird. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, those disk drives are so ridiculous. Actually, I have one game that's guaranteed to, like, test how loud your disk drive can possibly be, and that's Dragon Age Origins. For some reason, they didn't do a very good job as far as the quality of that. Makes any disk drive just really loud.
Okay, for a second there you cut out, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. A game that really always ran my disk drive pretty hard was what was it? Was Forza. The Forza games and the Mass Effect games. Always
all the loading, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, yeah. Mass Effect 1 in particular, that was a big one. Because
Mass Effect,
it was
oh my
always
fucking
looking for a texture
God.
at all times.
Mass Effect
If
1
it wasn't a loading screen, it was always looking for a texture. And when the day came that you could install that game to your hard drive, that was like, yes, your textures loaded more quickly, and you didn't have to deal with it constantly hearing that sound of it constantly doing a drive seek of some kind. Yeah. But here's another here's another interesting thing about the 360s. If I'm pretty sure everyone has noticed it at this point, is if you have one of the original models, the original model 360s, even with my Elite model from like 2009, they put a fan inside the power supply because it can get pretty hot in there, and like especially with those really big brick ones with the original models. Like I had a Zephyr, and on a hot day, you can really hear the fan inside that brick running.
Yeah,
I wonder how many
200 watts.
I wonder how many original Xbox 360s are still working.
So you know Patrick Klepek over at Giant Bomb, he has one, and he says it sounds like a jet is taking off in his house. Like that like is ridiculous. Apparently,
I think I heard an original model, or at least the first revision of the model, only once. Like I had the Zephyr, which is I think they put that in at about 07, 06. I think probably 07. So I don't think many originals exist out there, and if they are, very very lightly used. It's kind of like
or it's kind of lucky.
It's like an old British sports car.
It's like, where like there are the fuckers who get lucky, like that happens.
Actually, like the original Xbox is like freaking talking about it. Like I know Bremen's gonna get this, but for those of you who have watched British Top Gear, it's like an old British sports car. They're all broken because they're made by British Leyland. They're all broken except for the rare one that isn't broken, and the rare one that isn't broken is only not broken because you haven't used it enough. So I think that's like the only original models that still work. Or you were just very fortunate that the factory, for some miraculous reason, built it just right, and it didn't break.
That does sound like, once again, I know people who have launched 360s, but dear God, is it rare.
The failure rate
You actually know people who have them and it still work?
Yeah.
The failure rate on them is 33%, which still says a majority of them work. But
no, the Xenon, the failure rate was like 60%.
That's still 40%, which is still quite a bit. I don't know. I read like 33% failure rate, although I imagine that's more like by 2007 because they actually made it slightly more reliable.
I remember, fucking God, so many broken in. Nick, you didn't get a 360 till like the Gears of War bundle, right?
Yeah, that was the one I got.
Yeah, you got yours way late, so you were fine. You didn't have to put up with any of this horse shit.
You paid $400, mind you. $400 in 2007 is more expensive than $400 is more expensive today because that's like what, $450 or $480 in today's currency, something that.
Well, first off, if there's anything that Sony taught the public, and now Microsoft is, you can't sell a game console for more than $400. It's just more than
you
the
could
joke.
at $500. The Xbox One is selling pretty well at $500.
Yeah, I like
$500 is starting to push it, but okay, we'll tolerate it. $599 no.
Yeah, no. The second that you go $599,
I mean, even like at some point, inflation is going to catch up where $599 is going to become the norm, but no one's going to ever say it. Well, they could say it because because at that point, all the college students at that time will no longer realize why $599 is such a joke.
No, but the gaming press will remind them.
The gaming press will remind them, and they'll just point it to a single video back in 2006.
Yeah, just, hey guys,
$599.
$500. God, I could not believe. I was really stoked for the PS3, even with how retarded that presentation was.
I mean, I just remember
really
watching an E3 2006 Sony highlight, and there weren't any, so they just made fun of it. And you hit its weak spot for massive damage.
I still remember being fucking excited for that thing, and then they announced the price, and I'm like, yep, fuck that. I'm buying a Wii.
Like the Xbox, like what was it? The Xbox 360, the good one, the good model, not the super cheap one that gave you nothing, with its 256 megabyte memory unit.
No, no one used. Like at launch, it was 64 megabytes.
Okay, yeah. So like the well equipped model. It's like, would you like a car that's stripped out of all features, or do you want the one that actually has power seats? It's kind of like that. The well-equipped Xbox 360, it was like $400, right? And it was still broken. Or you go for the ultra expensive PlayStation 3, or you go for the $250 Wii.
I'm telling you right now, part of the reason the Wii sold so well is because of that. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, these consoles are no longer impulse purchases. Like, I don't know about you fuckers, but like, I don't know many people who like, oh man, $400, I can just blow that no problem. You know, like when you tell me I have to spend $400, that puts thought like that. That like, do I really want this?
Well, according to sales numbers so far, yes.
You know, like I mean, yeah, like I know a lot of people at that launch were like, yeah, I really want this thing. Like, but for like
people it's not like in my case where I'm like, I'm totally buying a 3DS 1 year later.
Yeah.
In the case of the PS4, it's like, do I want to buy it this year, or do I want to buy it next year, or maybe even 2 years from now?
Yeah, because like $400, like once again, $400 is not an impulse buy for most people, and even if it was, like they're probably still deciding between it and an Xbox One, because most people, I don't know about you guys once again, but most people, like last generation, most people they probably bought one, right? Like they didn't buy both. Like most people not like me or Anthony, but like Nick, was that the case for you, where most people they bought one of the two HD? Yeah. Like Anthony, same thing. Like what did Joe buy? A 360. What did John buy?
He buys a 360 and probably regretted it because the PS3 had more of what he was looking for.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, last generation, most people I knew, they bought the 360 and waited on PlayStation 4 because of the price. This generation, most people I know bought the PS4 first.
That's.
I don't know. Let me put it this way: I only know one person who bought an Xbox One but didn't buy a PlayStation 4. I know a few people who bought both, but I only know one person who bought an Xbox One and not a PlayStation 4 so far.
I only know two people. I'm the same way. I only know one person who bought an Xbox One instead of a PS4. Oh wait, no, actually, I know two people. So yeah, like that's, and I know one of them who waited on the PS4 a little bit. Like he wanted to, like he bought the Xbox One at launch and then waited until Infamous to buy the PS4.
Right.
Like that's, like I know someone who waited, but I don't know someone who.
Man, if you bought a PS4 and an Xbox One, that is after taxes $1,000, and that's before you even buy the games.
It's slightly under $1,000. And Anthony, you remember Alex did that.
And that's before you buy the Wii U and its games.
You gotta remember though, Alex did that. Like I remember. So Alex and I were working at AT&T when these consoles launched, and I remember, my God, and I remember that he was working 60-hour weeks. He was taking on as much overtime as possible.
That's crazy.
So he could buy them both at launch. He was working 60-hour fucking weeks to buy both fucking consoles at launch.
60-hour weeks. Oh my gosh.
I did it.
I can't imagine being. I mean, I work 60-hour weeks probably, but 60 hours on the phone.
Well, you have a headset on. as if that makes anything better.
No, I don't think I could deal with the stupidity that much. 60 hours of stupidity a week. Ugh.
So sometimes you do get downtime though, if that's anything. Like sometimes it's just not busy for whatever reason, not getting a bunch of calls, and you'll get downtime. But for the most part, 60 hours fucking a week. And he did it the entire month of November, and he was able to pay all his bills and buy a PS4 and an Xbox One on launch. And not only that, but he also had enough money to throw a little bit in his savings towards his new car. And I worked 60 hours a week when the iPhone launched. That's why I was so fucking busy. Like, that's why, Anthony, you and I talk weekly. I basically dropped off the grid for a month, right?
Yeah.
Because I was sleeping under a desk at AT&T.
Well, yeah, if you were still working there, you'd probably be having that again in a few months. The next iPhone's out.
Well, it's not just iPhones. It's like
Well, that's gonna be the main reason AT&T.
Hello, Samsung Galaxy. Like Bronson has a natural hatred for Samsung Galaxy S's now.
Well, yeah.
So it's like Samsung Galaxy S5 just came out.
Yeah,
I don't know how broken
the
it
iPhone
is.
Would be a much bigger. I don't think. Yes, the Galaxy S5 sold well, but not anything like the 5S.
Okay, so let me tell you, I was there for the launch of the Note 3 and the Mega. Both of those were incredibly popular, not nearly as popular as the iPhone, still obnoxious. And I actually find Android launches more obnoxious.
Well, yeah, I can imagine because it's Android.
Yes, because every Android has different fucking interface, and the problem is always something fucking different because no one can design a fucking interface as good as iOS for some reason. I don't know why.
I think that's debatable.
You know, as far as phones go, like
I think that's debatable. But I do agree with you on the fact that everyone's trying to do their own flavor of Android.
Like, and all their flavors fucking suck.
Bronson, my phone works great.
I have told you the.
And it's Android.
Have I told you the easy mode story? I've told you this story.
Yes.
Why does that exist? Oh my god.
Because grannies use phones?
My grandmother has a fucking Android smartphone, and she doesn't need easy mode. You know?
I don't know. You ask the people at Samsung, not me.
You know, like fucking just want to go up and slap them. Oh man, just so mad that like every time just ugh. And that like the iPhone launches, the iPhones are easy to troubleshoot. Because they're all the fucking same interface, all the same. Typically, it's all the same problem, you know, for most of them.
What would you say was the number one issue with the iPhones?
User error. Usually, something with someone either didn't remember their password enough, and they got locked out of their phone. In which we just had to say, "Hey, go." You know, it's like you're locked out of your phone. You need a new SIM card, or. User error was pretty big. Like they would like do something retarded and needed to get it back, and they would forget their iTunes password. And I would typically try and lead them through that, or in calls like that we can transfer them to Apple. No, I thought like once again, usually shit in the iPhone is like I accidentally changed my screen to colorblind mode. You know, I accidentally set this on. Like, just people accidentally turning shit on.
How about your freaking home button not working anymore, which just happened to my iPhone literally right before I hopped on for the Medium podcast.
That didn't have an issue, but a lot of people would break their iPhone and get super pissed that we couldn't do anything, and we'd have to transfer them to Apple. Like, they would just get super pissed, like, I don't want to talk to Apple. You fucking provide my service. And I'm like, well,
Apple makes your device that you broke.
Apple makes your device, and Apple made us sign a special contract that says they handle all their bullshit except for insuring the phone. So if you want your phone fixed, you're gonna have to talk to fucking Apple. You fucking idiot. You know? Oh my god. Oh, did I tell you about this one time? This guy fucking so this dude had a Samsung Galaxy S2, and it broke. And we replaced it, and that one was broke. But it was only the battery that was broke. So we sent him a new battery, and it was the wrong battery. So, you know, I talked to my supervisor, and my supervisor was super cool. He's like, okay, well, we'll send you another replacement phone. It'll be an S3 for all the trouble, right? And the customer complains to bitch about how he's going to be without his phone for a while. And okay, so we decide to give him an S4. Right? And the S4 at this point is like 5 months old. Like fucking pretty much a new phone. And, you know, so, and you know, we get everything set up and you're like, he's like, okay, so when am I on my new phone? Like tomorrow, like in 2 to 3 days. Because that's as fast as AT&T's shipping allows. Even we do priority shipping. And we did priority shipping, so it was two days. And we waived the priority shipping fee. And he still complained that he wasn't be able to get it next day. So he'd be out without his phone for 2 to 3 days, like, rah, 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 I run a business, rah, rah, rah. And so he asked to talk to my manager, and my manager straight busted his ass down and just sent him a replacement S2. And I was just like, that's what you get for getting greedy, motherfucker. To add on to that, I can't believe how many people are like, there are a lot of people that call and lie to us, because there could not be that many small business owners in this world. I don't care.
Oh yeah, of course they're gonna say that.
They say that to say that I am your important customer. You serve me.
All right.
Kind of
right.
like, oh man, I probably took that a bit too far.
This isn't AT&T's official stance, but it might as well be. We do not give a fuck about you because Boeing has an account with us and pays us over $300,000 a month on one account. So your $100 a month is fucking pennies to us. Go to Verizon. Go ahead, motherfucker. Like that, that's...
That's funny.
And that's every cell phone company. I've talked to people who work for Verizon. I've had to communicate with, like, reps from Verizon and Sprint and all this shit. Like, none of these companies care about you. The best you're going to get is that person in tech support who actually has some empathy for you. The managers are just tired of hearing this shit. So if you ask for a manager, you're just going to get someone who's even more pissed off. Straight up. Also, the worst calls in the world are when you have to work with another provider. Like someone's transferring their line from Verizon to AT&T or vice versa. Fucking horrible. Oh my god. I can tell you, I have horror stories for days. And the fucked up part is, I've actually considered going back for the money. It's really good pay. It's just, you have to be willing to put up with a lot of shit.
Cool.
Speaking of people who just wave around credentials like that, I think I remember this one time I went to Best Buy, and there was this man that was very, very pissed off at the customer service line for, well, you probably could imagine, he probably tried to return something, and they wouldn't take it. So he was, like, really, really pissed off, claiming that he was a cop. He probably had a badge, whether it was real or not, ready to wave it in their face. It's like, I'm a cop. You know who I am, and I'm just standing there.
What does a cop have to do with anything?
I know. That's I thought myself, like, since when did they hire cops that talk like that? Really, you think you can pull off like the bad cop attitude from the movies and think that people are going to listen to you for that? On that?
That's funny.
Because, like, what does being a cop? It's like, oh yeah, sure. Even if you are a real police officer, I'm pretty sure they don't let you talk like that.
Nope.
Because you do a public service, and therefore you're not supposed to talk to people like that. If anything, you're just making yourself look bad the whole time. And actually, speaking of Best Buy, I remember one time the Best Buy.
I remember working there for almost 3 years. It was almost the worst 3 years of my life.
I also remember this one time the parking lot was a little bit crowded.
That reminds me of a meme I have seen of, it's like, I work in retail and my customers are dumb and mean to me, and then shows a picture of a person at a call center. That's cute.
So I was like, this thing was also kind of funny, and I was backing out of the Best Buy parking out of this parking spot, same Best Buy. And it was kind of a bit crowded and a bit busy. So there was a lot of people walking about. So you back up slowly. I was backing up slowly. And I was taking about a good 10 or 20 seconds. And then there was this guy in this BMW that was wanting to take my parking spot. And he decided to blurt at me and say, "Why won't you fucking move it already?" And I'm just like, oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry, sir. I have costed you so much money and time and material wealth just so you can claim my parking spot, which is the second closest frickin' spot to the front door. Congratulations, sir. Yeah, guess what? Guess what?
You want to talk about people with road rage?
And
This
you know
happened
what?
to
He was
me.
like driving like a mid '90s BMW, and he had one of those Bluetooth headsets on. So for some reason, that just screamed stereotypical to me. And I'm just like, yeah, of course you would yell at me like that. You're one of those guys with a Bluetooth headset in your ear, and drives a BMW, the quote ultimate driving machine unquote. Anyways, it was a little stereotypical.
Dude,
So yeah.
I got a great road rage story for you. Fucking, I was driving to work a couple days ago, and we were, and my car stalls, and it stalls, and this person behind me, like, it literally stalls for maybe 2-3 seconds, but I have to turn the key again, fucking, and then pump it twice, and it's good to go. And this lady starts screaming obscenities at me and shit, and I just flip her the bird, just like, it was like, no, fuck off, lady, and then she starts yelling at me, and I'm just like, and I proceed to yell at her, fuck off, and I drive away to work. Like, no, fucking, you don't get mad at me because my fucking car stalled. Yeah, if I just was some
Yeah, like you
asshole.
told your car to stall.
Yeah, like, fucking, if I just purposely stopped in the middle of the road, by all means, scream your fucking head off, but, like, yeah, I really wanted my fucking car to stall, bitch. Oh, my God.
That's
What we
funny.
sound sort of like Jesse Pinkman a little bit for a little bit there, but never mind. Probably not. But yeah, she's just like little things. Like I had a good laugh out of it, to be honest, because I'm just like, yeah, dude.
What did you
guess
do?
what? What?
What did you do?
Well, I just ignored him and just drove along like normal.
Oh.
And like, and it was very funny because guess what? He was still stuck in that same spot the moment I got by because guess what? He had to wait for pedestrians.
That's funny.
It was
idiot.
just it was just like, yeah, you enjoy your parking spot. I costed you 20 seconds of your life.
Oh my God, nothing is more irritating than trying to park in a Walmart. It's like, someone will sit there and wait for like 30-40 seconds.
I know,
like,
just so
what
they're too lazy to
happened
freaking walk. It's like you
What
guys,
happened
like,
to
that person
walking?
would rather. Like, I was trying to park at the mall the other day, and I was driving or whatever. And this person was waiting for their spot. It was like near the front or whatever, and I was driving, and I stopped because some person was walking by, and this guy freaking starts honking at me because I think I'm gonna take a spot, and I'm like, dude, I'm not even gonna take your spot. Like, these people get so defensive, and it's like there's plenty of parking spots, but this one would he could have walked into the mall maybe 10 seconds earlier and made maybe 10 steps less. It's like, seriously, like is 10 steps really that worth it to you? Like,
the only time that it's worth it is when it's super fucking hot and it's the parking spot under the tree. Even
for me that isn't worth it. Like for me,
it.
it's worth it if I'm expecting to leave with a lot of heavy things, because when you're carrying a lot of heavy
well, they
weight,
have a shopping cart.
Well, I don't know if Best Buy has a shopping cart.
Yeah,
Best Buy
probably
shopping
do.
carts. I used to work there.
I bought a fucking TV at Best Buy, so I know this shit.
But the warehouse people will load it up for you.
Yeah, they'll carry
You bring
that
your
shit.
TV, you bring your car to the front.
Yeah, the exact thing happened to me. I was like, yeah, yo, can you guys, like, I was holding a PlayStation and that TV I had out in the living room, and it was one of those cases where, you have to, like, they said, yeah, we'll hold up front, you just drive your car around.
Yeah, I worked there. I used to sell TVs. We'd tell them, we'd ring them up, then we'd tell them to go ahead and pull their car up front, we'd call the warehouse, and they'd bring the TV out.
Yeah, like, fucking, just, ugh.
Okay, sweet. It's just, like, if you are... Well, like, I'm just like, because, like, why would you want to, like, sit and park your car in the middle of the road for, like, a minute watching the person load their groceries in, then get in their car, which is, like, 2 minutes? I'm like, maybe if you had a bit of a disability, like, you're very old and have, like, maybe...
Well, that's a handicap spot.
Joint pain.
Like, no, my mom is on oxygen and she doesn't have a handicap thing. Like, you're like that. Like, I can kind of get it. Like,
maybe that's like one reason where I can see it makes sense. But if you're like a person who's driving a giant Chevy Suburban and you park in the middle like that, and it's quite obvious that you're quite capable of walking an extra 10 or 20 seconds, why? It's like how that story where my friends and I were standing in the elevator, and for a moment we were like joking about how, oh man, wouldn't it be stupid if a person got on the elevator on the second floor only to go up to the third floor when the stairs are right there. And then it happened, and we were trying so hard not to laugh at that person on the spot as she went up one floor. It went just like, oh my goodness.
I mean, yeah, like that happens at TMCC all the fucking time though. Because I'm not sure if you've ever been to the Red Mountain building up the college, but fucking the Red Mountain building it's 2 stories tall, and at the fucking entrance there's a fucking there's the
like if you're carrying heavy stuff and you had just walked up a hill. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll
give it to you.
Yeah, so it's like freaking like university I go to. It's built on a hill, so to walk up to the garage it's a bit of effort. So. It's not extreme, but it's a bit of effort. And, I can understand, yeah, maybe if you've made that kind of walk, but I could tell that, this lady hadn't even walked that kind of thing. So it was like, yeah.
Oh.
Whatever happened to the stairs?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Well,
yeah.
Motherfucker, why does half this country look like me? What's
really weird is that when I go to college and I go to class, most people look relatively healthy. At least from my personal experience, I'm just like, hey, college students look pretty healthy. And then I walk into a Walmart for the first time in like 3 or 4 months, and I'm just like, what happened?
Yeah.
To see so many big people just like blew my mind. I'm just like, what happened here?
Man, Walmart is like that's where you see some stuff.
Walmart is like, let's put it this way, Walmart makes me feel good about myself. Like I go into
Bronson
Walmart,
walks in there looking like a supermodel.
Yeah, fucking dude. Like I'm just like I am overweight by a good 60 pounds. I'm fucking no doubt about that. And I am not like I have a beard. Like I look like I belong on an episode of To Catch a Predator. And fucking I go into fucking Walmart and I'm fucking
all of a sudden he's David Beckham.
Yeah, fucking A. Like exactly what fucking happens.
That'd be a funny video, like you see Bronson, he's like walking around, whatever. You see him walk into a Walmart, and there's like a transition, and then there's David Beckham.
Yeah.
Then he's in Walmart, David Beckham, he walks out of the store and turns back to Bronson.
Yeah, like and it's either that or like you're fucking screaming kids everywhere and just I normally don't shop there. I shop at this fucking ghetto ass store by my house called Smart and Final. It's just this. After you've been at Smart and Final, would you say that is like the most ghetto ass grocery store in America?
Yeah, they have those out here. I've never been in one. Though.
I think I've been to one that's slightly worse.
There is one worse. It's called Sack and Save. I'll take you there sometime.
No, I've been there.
You've been to Sack and Save?
I've been there many times when I was a lot younger.
What type of name is that?
Well, you could ask the owners of that franchise.
Yeah.
But Bronson, I've actually been there.
No, what was it? There's a bread. I think it's a kind of bread. I was at the grocery store the other day, and there's a kind of bread, and the company of it is literally like PSSST. I can't remember how many S's there were. I think there's 3. So it's like what do you tell people? Like, hello, my name's Nick McAllister. I'm the CEO of like, seriously? Like...
Have Reggie talk about it. He'll think of some way to make it sound serious.
Yeah, it's like, I've got to find a video. My name's Nick McAllister. I'm the CEO of... Like, what?
For a moment there, people might say you said piss.
Yeah, I know.
That's like, wait, is that like hipster bread or something like that?
It's like these guys are getting these investments and like all this stuff to get their company going, and they're like, you're providing your pitch. Today I presented about like, really? Like, if I was an investor, I'd be like, okay, on to the next one. Like, if I heard the company.
No. Maybe if you convince that your bread is hipster is not the right word at all.
Our bread is so good that it makes you go. But
Wait, so your bread makes people go into a whisper, so which means that you ruin their voice box. Should I be concerned about health now?
So when you taste this bread, you're gonna tell your friend, "This is the best."
But why would I do that? Is it like a secret? Is it like some secret underground thing?
Oh, no,
like
our
AdBlock?
ingredients to our bread is so secret, so we call it.
But Coca-Cola keeps their stuff secret, and they're fine.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta try to find a video, see like an interview with the CEO or something, see how how can you keep a straight face? My name is John Smith, and I'm the CEO.
Maybe during their interview process, if you snicker a laugh, you're not hired.
Yeah. If I was an investor, I'd be like, look, your bread's amazing, but I'm not giving you any money unless you change the name.
What are some other dumb names? Oh
well. Should we get back on topic? Like,
yeah,
I think we spent like a good half hour.
Xbox One yeah, we all started with the Xbox One without the Kinect for.
And then we're talking about dumb bread names. This is
a lot of
great.
people. It's kind of so moving along back to video games. A lot of people are like, well, why didn't Microsoft just announce this during E3? It's right. It's like, why don't they announce, hey, we're having the Xbox One $399 without the Kinect, and it's available starting today. We started shipping the stores today.
Everyone in the audience gets a free Xbox One.
Actually, that's what they did in the past, right? Because when they unveiled the first 360 Slim, they basically took the plastic cover and said it's on sale right now.
Yeah, just like the new Xbox 360 that kind of looks like the Xbox One, they did that same thing.
Yeah, except that was the second time they did it, so we were like, oh,
yeah,
okay, they tried to do the same thing.
Yeah,
but the first time they did it was when they had like this regular 360 Elite, or what we thought was the 360 Elite, and he just took the plastic shell off and just said, this is on sale today.
Right, and everyone in the audience like, gets one. Yeah. We know you journos can
that's
be
right.
bought.
They did that after their terrible Kinect presentation, so I just felt like,
well, yeah,
sure,
that
for
was
us at home, we're not going to forget it, but you think about it. Like, you think about it, you are sitting in that audience, you had just witnessed the worst press conference in the history of E3, likely, and all of a sudden you're walking out feeling pretty happy because you got a free Xbox, because I think that's what they were trying to do, is to make you forget, or at least the audience forget how bad it was.
Nothing beats Wii music during E3.
That was pretty terrible.
Actually, to be honest, at least that was just Wii music, and it wasn't like an entire 1 hour presentation on a peripheral that drove us mad.
That's true.
Like, Wii Music was just a case of extreme disappointment. Like, Wii Music was a case of extreme disappointment, whereas Kinect was a case of, like,
Skittles.
This is Microsoft? This is the Microsoft? Like, what happened?
Let's go play with Elmo.
Eat my dust, y'all.
I want to play with Elmo. Come here, Skittles.
Man, Connectable scares me. The cover of that game still creeps me out.
I just want to take that excerpt from this podcast and have a clip on the site that's Nick saying, I want to go play with Elmo.
Oh, man. Like, that presentation was just like... Yeah, Kinect ended up being very popular, but man, did you just, like...
we have the new 360 SKU, and then they updated games with gold.
No,
they did. Like, also, hallelujah, you can finally use apps without being a gold member.
Yeah, about time.
Did they do that to the 360?
Yeah.
Really? Well, actually, what was this?
They announced this shit today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, because guess what? Last week, I plugged in my 360 and I randomly decided, I'm going to just randomly use the web browser because, I was bored. And it was like, you need gold. I'm like, wait, since when did I have to pay to use an internet browser? That's like Apple saying, or at least that's like saying AT&T will charge you an extra $10 a month just because you wanted to use Safari on your iPhone. Like, wow, really?
Well, I do charge you for data.
So is that like in the form of another system update or something?
I don't know. It's going to be live next month. Also, they're making it so Xbox One has games with gold, but just like PSN, they go away when you unsubscribe. The first two games are, what were they? It was some indie game and Halo Spartan Assault, which is a relatively mediocre top-down shooter, kind of like Dark Wars. I have heard the reviews so far have not been great. I'm a Halo fan, so I'm curious. It's just that because the reviews have not been great, I have not been willing to shell out cash. See what else? Yeah. Oh, on the 360, you're going to be able to continue to keep the games regardless. So, I don't know. This is obviously good news, but like part of me is just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Better late than never.
Yeah, like I'm mainly happy about the app thing because my mom. So I basically like loaned my mom my 360 so she can have a Netflix device, and which that's cool. But that also means I've been having to pay for gold when I'm not using gold that often. Now I can pay for gold the months I want to play games on my Xbox instead of just having a constant gold subscription because someone wants to use Netflix in this fucking house.
Although hopefully Microsoft makes games with gold. I mean, up to this point, it's not even close. But hopefully they can get to the point of PlayStation Plus where you want to keep it.
I mean, yeah.
This PlayStation Plus is just so freaking amazing.
I mean, yeah, like you look at the PS4 games, like not every PS4 game has been a hit, but like Resogun was awesome, Contrast was awesome, Don't Starve was pretty good. Not like the greatest thing ever, but I enjoyed it. What else was there? Don't Starve.
What's the game that just released?
I don't know. Mercenary Kings. Mercenary Kings
no,
is rad.
Yeah, Mercenary Kings came out. Dead Nation, the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that one was kind of weak, but all right. Like I think it's a good game. It's just
what was the one that it's this month's free indie game?
I'll pull it up in a little bit, but I know what you're talking about.
Thing? Is it no? It's not Don't Touch Things. It's something like that though.
Yeah. Outlast was. Look, people who are fans of the site watched me live stream Outlast. You all watched me scared fucking death. Yeah, like just.
Yeah, I think when E3 comes around, we're actually gonna get some full games. I think they're gonna announce. Unfortunately, I've already beat it, so I'll miss out. But I think they're gonna announce Knack. Probably gonna come. It just makes sense from the standpoint of it's a Sony first party title. It's a game that didn't really do well. Just makes sense. Like, what other game would they do? I mean, they're not going to do Killzone because Killzone was successful. They're still selling copies.
Really fucking successful.
Yeah. So they're not going to do Killzone. They're probably not going to do a multi-platform title yet because it's like, what multi-platform title would they do?
I could see Assassin's Creed.
Not yet. Maybe when the next Assassin's Creed's out.
That's what I was gonna say. This November, when the French Revolution one comes out, they'll say, "Hey, for those of you who are Plus members, here's the regular one."
Yeah, but they won't announce that at E3. But like I said, they'll probably announce Knack. They'll be like, first full game, Knack. Like it'll be like a brief mention. Obviously, it's not gonna be like a news announcement, but.
Yay, I can finally finish Knack. Because I rented Knack, and that's what I've been wanting to do this entire time. Finish Knack.
So, I forced myself to beat it. You're not.
I could not force myself to finish it or Rise. Like, both of those games are...
There's the thing, Knack, I felt like I forced myself. Rise, I didn't. Like, yes, Rise was repetitive, but I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed just because it's like as you progress, I mean I don't know how far you got into it, Bronson, but you go into it's not just this like Roman time. You actually go into like different environments. Like, there's a part where you like go through a jungle, which is like really cool. I honestly enjoyed the game. I would honestly, if they count with the second one, which we'll talk about in a little bit. They came out with the second one. Am I committed to buying it? No. I mean, the online for Rise was absolutely mediocre. Don't get me wrong. But I probably wouldn't buy it, but I would definitely rent it. Just because it's like, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully, especially if Crytek takes... Crytek, yeah, what's the name of the company? Gosh.
That's Crytek.
Yeah, Crytek, yeah, brain fart there. If Crytek listens to what people say about it being repetitive... and they make the story a little bit better, I really do think that Crisis, they could make a Crisis.
Here's the problem.
I really do think they can make a good Rise.
Here's the problem I see with the medieval setting. Every single fantasy game out there.
Wow, Anthony, way to blow the announcement. We didn't even talk about the piece
Wait,
of news
what?
yet. We didn't even tell them what the news was yet. God damn it. We just
Oh,
said if
shit.
Rise 2 existed. God fucking damn it, Anthony.
We'll get into it
You were like
later.
talking about like them making a sequel, and I was like, I'm sorry.
Alright, so we might as well. So, supposedly.
Never have Anthony host a press conference.
Supposedly,
he'd surprise he'd ruin.
I wasn't really
the,
paying attention, so
Anthony
yeah.
would be like Satoru Iwata.
It's like
Sony's
Sony's announcing like Metal Gear Solid 6 is going to be exclusive to PlayStation 4, and they're talking about Metal Gear Solid 5, and Anthony's like, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 6 is going to be exclusive to our platform. Oh, wait a second, that was supposed to be for the end of our conference.
Shit.
Time to be blacklisted because this Asian can't keep his mouth shut or think before speaking.
Okay, well, anyway, so just like how last week we had a leak of Sony, we had a leak of Microsoft. And the first piece of news is that we are getting a sequel to Rise in a medieval setting, and that's about it. Slated for this year, which wouldn't surprise me because Rise was in development for a while. Like the original, so...
Yeah, like I said, I honestly, I'm not going to say I'm, super excited if this is really the case, but am I interested? Yeah. But part of me says that I don't think this is going to happen, just from the standpoint of, yeah, they could do a spin-off of what they did with the first one, but I don't think Rise did too well, did it?
Did okay. I knew some people who bought it. Honestly, for me...
But if it did well, if it did okay, it's probably because... the Pig 2 games that came out at launch that were multi-platform were Rise and Forza.
And Dead Rising 3.
Yeah, Dead Rising, but I think that game, I don't like that
game. That game was fucking super fun.
See, me and Bronson just have, contrasting views of open world games, because freaking Saints Row 4 is terrible.
Saints Row 4 is fucking amazing!
Dead Rising...
Look, if I were to pitch this game to any other human being, they'd say, that sounds like the greatest thing ever. You are the President of the United States... fighting aliens with superpowers inside the Matrix. What more could you? Oh,
and then he liked Dead Rising 3, and I didn't like Dead Rising 3. I love Grand Theft Auto 5. What did you think?
Grand Theft Auto 5, I thought it was a great game. I love Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, I thought Grand Theft Auto 5 was a rad game.
So at least we agree there. But
yeah, we also agreed on The Last of Us. I thought.
Well, that's not an open world game, though.
Actually, to be honest, just about everybody out there would agree.
Everyone except Aaron. Aaron is the one person on this planet who's like, no, Last of Us is bad. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, he's got that's called having a problem. He has video game disorder.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
opinion disorder. Wait, hang on. Are we degrading to this point now?
He is the one who argued that
a video game review website have suddenly decided that we can deem what opinions are valid. Really?
I'm sorry, but anyone that can look at The Last of Us and say that game is bad,
I'm pretty sure I said something about one particular game in the past that made everyone go what the hell?
Hold that thought on that, Anthony. Tell us what it is in a minute. But my thing with that was Aaron was the one who made it so Devil May Cry was on that top 10 list instead of 2.
So he put Devil May Cry over The Last of Us.
Okay, you know what, Bronson?
Devil
you got
May
a point
Cry
there.
Was his #1 game of last year.
Bronson, you just reminded me of something. Yeah, okay, look. There is no way Mass Effect 3 is worse than Assassin's Creed 3.
You are right.
Why
you are
is
right.
Assassin's Creed 3 at
you
number
are
10?
So right on this.
Why is Mass Effect 3 not at number 10? Okay? As much as I keep complaining about Mass Effect 3, at least I like the game.
Versus Assassin's Creed 3, which was just
Assassin's
bad.
Creed 3 was a giant bucket of wasted potential.
And Assassin's Creed 4 was fucking awesome, so they made it up for that. Oh my god.
But still, at that time, really? I get it. Mass Effect 3 had a bad ending, and yeah, for me, sure, a lot of details just went missing. But at least it played well. Assassin's Creed 3, I'm sorry, no.
That game was. Yeah,
I'm sorry. You guys already
that wound was finally starting to heal, Anthony. Way to open that back up.
Hey, we decided to deem some certain opinions invalid. Okay, that would be mine right there.
That and Devil May Cry, like I just conceded.
Well, Devil May Cry, I just kind of accepted because it's like, well, at this point, we might as well put our number ones on the list at some point. And for Aaron, that was Devil May Cry.
Which, fuck, that game is not good. It
it really isn't.
It does.
Well,
okay, so I tried to understand Aaron, and I got through the 3/4 of that game. And
it was free with PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, that's why I did it. Because when I rented it, I barely got through 1/4 of it. So I played a rather large chunk of that game, and the combat can be fun at times. It does some really interesting things with its art at times, but its music is bad. I don't like the style it's going for. Like, Dante used to be like a really cool, likable character. Now he sucks. The one part of that game I did enjoy was the giant middle finger to old Devil May Cry fans. That was really funny to me. It was like saying, "Oh, you like this older Devil May Cry? Eh? Well, fuck you."
I can't really say much about Devil May Cry because I didn't play it, but there were like two things. First off, there was Dante's look, which I wasn't really sure about. Like, I don't hate it, but it was just kind of like he looks like, I get it. The only thing they changed was his hair and his clothes. That was it.
Yep.
But his overall look pretty much says he is the young he's like the young handsome, dark, seductive boy band member from Disney or Nickelodeon. That's how I describe his look. Basically the kind of look that probably would get the Twilight fans to go crazy about. Something like that. And then, okay, but I didn't really have a problem with it because, well, I'm not a Devil May Cry fan, so I don't know what to think of it. And the second thing I remembered was that when I was editing the top 10 list, I usually tried to find a good song to put in, right? And I remember when I came to Devil May Cry, I went through every single track, and I'm just like, there's nothing here that works. And I just remember thinking, what is this? I usually try to be open about game music, and I understand there's like game music that don't fit for me, but that was really a case of what genre does this sit in? It's not dubstep. I don't think it is. It's like we make fun of
crap. That's a genre. It's crap.
We make fun of dubstep, but what I heard was like, I don't get this. And I also have to be the guy that read that paragraph as part of the narration. Woo. At least I could tolerate reading the paragraph because I didn't actually play the game. As far as the soundtrack, when Aaron says it has a great soundtrack, and part of me was like,
I was watching it and I was like, man, Anthony, you got really good at lying.
I had to be enthusiastic, okay?
And you know what? Aaron can't defend it right now. So, that game, you know what, Nick? You complain about BioShock and Tomb Raider one of those games not making it? Blame it on Devil May Cry.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. BioShock and Tomb Raider are light years beyond Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry is the only game on our top 10.
I wish I could have been during that, because if I was there is no way in hell I would have let that happen.
Devil May Cry was the only game on our top 10 where I was like, this doesn't belong here. Pokemon I was cool with. Fire Emblem was fucking a great game. What else was on that list? Dota 2 absolutely deserved to be there. First off, our top 5, in my opinion, is perfect. Our top 5
which was pretty darn good, considering that's where the most arguments happened, but it turned out our biggest arguments was at the bottom. We actually did have a bit of argument at 1, 2, and 3. I remember that one.
Yeah, because we all had a different order of the top 3. We all agreed on the top 3, but everyone had a different order. Because Anthony, your number 1 was Last of Us, followed by Grand Theft Auto, followed by Mario.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. If I could go back in time and change that, I would, because after playing Mario, probably would place that at number 2.
And then mine was Last of Us. Mario, GTA, and then Aaron's was GTA, Mario, Last of Us. So just created this fucking argument. And then like we had to like fuck with the bottom of the list so that we could get it right at the top of the list.
Oh man, the things that we go through.
So
but anyways,
So Rise 2. That's
okay,
happening.
yeah, let's get back to that. Rise 2. Okay, so I basically blew it. But anyways, so it's gonna take place, rumored to take place in a medieval setting, and here's the thing. Fantasy suddenly made medieval look really cool. So if you took fantasy out of medieval,
yeah, that was one of the things that I really liked about Rise was its setting. Like I really like Roman history. The fall of Rome is a fucking fascinating topic. But you know, I like how it'll work in medieval. Like medieval history is kind of fucking boring. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Medieval history. I mean, the thing is that fantasy has made medieval look really cool because medieval is about kings and all that kind of stuff and magic.
It's about working
Lord
on
of the
your
Rings.
dirt farm.
Think about that. Lord of the Rings. I'm going to use that example. Lord of the Rings. Okay, lots of medieval elements, but it's really cool because of magic and elves and all that kind of stuff. Well,
but if you actually follow medieval history, it's about being a serf and working on your dirt farm until you die of the Black Plague in your one-room home with your 5 kids.
Which isn't very well insulated, nor is it well sheltered.
No.
And it's very dirty.
And then this is kind of fucked up, but like if anyone in your family that is a female that is attractive, she is getting railed by your lord or a knight on your property. So
I mean, it's kind of hard to think of exciting moments. I mean, what is there? Maybe the Crusades? Maybe? I don't know.
I wouldn't even consider the Crusades under like well, it's technically medieval.
Well, I don't know. Depending how you look at it, it might be a highlight or a low light. I don't know. I don't know that part of history anymore.
Medieval times is fucking boring. Like
medieval is kind of boring because let's be honest. When you talk about medieval history, that spans like what? It spans about 500 years or something like that. 400 years, and there's kind of like a lot of gaps in there. I mean, it's like, hey guys, let's build giant castles. Let's build big, really tall churches. Actually. What else? You had knights, but there aren't that many of them. You have stories, there's serfs, you're born in a land, you work in your land until you die. The average lifespan was probably 35 years old. Yeah, that's the average lifespan back then. And the Black Plague. That wiped out a third of Europe.
So,
woo.
Moving forward,
I mean, I'm pretty sure this being a video game, they're gonna try and like say, "Oh, but we're gonna make it look really cool. We're gonna have jousting," which I think is probably kind of cool. Although I don't see how it's gonna be a little interesting to see how they do that with Kinect. Well, for those who don't know what jousting is, it's basically two knights on horses, I should say, with these really long javelins, and they basically try and knock each other off the horse as the horses charge at each other. That's basically it. It's kind of exciting, but, given that Rise is very repetitive from what I hear, yeah, it's going to be interesting how they're going to make that exciting.
By the way, Nick, the name of the game you're looking for is Stick It to the Man for the Plus.
Stick It to the Man, that's it.
I'm downloading it right now. Anyway, so the next piece of news is Forza Horizon 2, coming October this year. Open world, set in the Mid-South, with a, quote, 80-hour single player.
I'm a big fan of Forza, so I would definitely check it out. I think Forza Horizon was kind of disappointing because it wasn't fully the Turn 10 team, which is probably the same situation. They probably have Forza Horizon 2 made by the same team as the original Forza Horizon, and then we'll probably have a Forza Motorsport 6 come out the following year that's fully Turn 10.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that excited for this. I liked the setting of Forza Horizon, like the Colorado area, like that was kind of neat. I don't know how I feel about the South. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it. Like this kind of registers in my mind as like, don't really give a shit. So the next piece of news I highly give a shit about, though.
Wait, what? I'm right here.
All right.
Yeah, how are you gonna bring up something about a racing game and then skip over Anthony? Come on.
All right, Anthony. Cars talk.
Man, I already burned up that thing, but when I heard that, I was just like, God damn it, another Forza?
Yeah. Now
Look,
you gonna buy an Xbox One, Anthony, instead of a PS4?
no.
You gonna make that bad decision?
Well, if I bought an Xbox One instead of PS4, it would be because of Forza 5, not Forza Horizon 2. Look, I played I played a demo of Forza Horizon, and what it felt like was, it was that game that came out before Forza 4, right? At least I think it did. But anyways,
I think it came out after Forza 4, didn't it?
Wait, what came out after Forza 4?
the original Horizon.
It came out after Forza.
Yeah, it came
4
after
before.
4. It was
Okay,
after 4.
so I remember that it was physics-wise, it just felt like a step backwards because I think what they did was they took the physics engine from Forza 3, which it's okay, but with Forza 4, yeah, it's not as good. And I remember that they tried to instill like excitement into it, like saying so instead of like driving around the same circuit track over and over and over again, you now get to experience the Rocky Mountains in a way, which seems like a pretty cool concept. And and then everyone complained about, oh, but in Gran Turismo you had nighttime. Well, they added nighttime, sort of. What they did was they put a dark blue hue on everything, and turn on and add some lighting effects, and poof, nighttime, right? Because nighttime in that game was really bright. Anyways. So I just remember thinking, it has Forza 3 physics, which I don't really like anymore, and it's more arcadey in a way, and I don't remember getting an interior view, and it just it felt really meh. And with Forza Horizon 2, it's like, okay, sure, whatever, turn Forza into your Need for Speed if you want. I don't care. Anyways, yeah. It's not as funny as my initial response, but that was B-roll that we never got.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, well, next up is Halo 2 Anniversary is getting a full makeover of Halo 2, along with bringing back its multiplayer. Fuck yes. Hell yes. Halo 2 had the best maps in the franchise. Halo 2 had a bunch. Like, if they just make a non-glitchy Halo 2, fuck yes, is what I have to say to that. What about you guys?
I'd definitely be willing to check it out, yeah. Because, I mean, more than likely Halo 5's delayed, so...
That's next, actually. Halo 5 will get its release date. Then next up is Rare is rebooting Battletoads and is rebooting Perfect Dark as a third-person action-adventure game similar to Uncharted.
So we have an Uncharted Tomb Raider now, Perfect Dark.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think you could do some interesting things with that, like all the spy stuff in Perfect Dark. That
sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, like Perfect Dark was all about spies and aliens eventually. So I don't know, do that same thing again. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay, I've never played a Perfect Dark game, so
you should play the first one. It's good.
Okay. Battletoads, yeah, no comment on that one.
Now you can actually call a store and ask for Battletoads and not cause someone to be super pissed. So I guess Rare is doing something for the greater good. Kinda.
What, saving GameStop employees and retro game shops?
Yeah. It's like, do you have Battletoads?
Yes.
No. So.
What now?
Yeah. So there you go. Next up.
Right. Yeah. Not much comment there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really comment. I mean, it sounds interesting. I'd be interested in seeing it.
I'm kind of curious what Battletoads would be like, because I imagine that'd be a really fun co-op game if they keep it like the old one. Gears of War Lazarus will show the direction the series is heading. That's all I got.
Okay. After Gears 3, don't care anymore. Actually, to be honest, the Gears of War franchise for me has always kind of been a hateful thing because, let's see, 1 I liked, but found out that the online, from what my best friend told me, broken. Gears 2, it's okay, but I really hate it because of its online being broken. Gears 3 was actually good. Gears Judgment was bleh. So, Lazarus, yeah, I don't care, really.
I don't know. This is a thing. Like, it's just kind of one of those things where the last Gears of War it just wasn't that good. Cliffy B's no longer working on Gears of War. I mean, would I be curious to check it out? Yeah, but am I excited as if it was Gears of War 4 with Cliffy B behind it? No. Like, if Cliffy B came back and said, hey, guess what, guys? Joke's on you. I'm working on Gears of War 4 for the Xbox One, then yeah, I'd be interested. But that's not the case, so I should say I'm not interested. I'd be more interested, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they show off at E3. Hopefully, it's not just some CG trailer. If they show off just a CG trailer, then hopefully, or it probably won't be coming out till like late 2015. If it's coming out this year, I hope they show gameplay, because if they announce it's coming out this year, and they don't show gameplay, well, it's gonna probably be like bad. They'll be like Call of Duty on the Vita, where they're like, hey, Call of Duty coming to the Vita. Here's this image. That's all you guys are getting until it's released, because the game's crap.
I think that they've probably been working on this for a little while.
Gears of War makes
Black
money.
Tusk Studios
so.
is probably working on this.
Yeah, so
I mean, there's a chance it could come out great. And if it comes out great, that's awesome.
If they say something like Gears of War
War
Lazarus runs on Unreal 4, then they might get some attention. Because the Unreal 4 engine, they've been working on it for quite a while now, haven't they?
Yeah, and they announced.
I mean, I'm sure the game would look great. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So moving forward with this, we got Fable Legends. They're going to show more of that. Followed by Quantum Break will be out in November 2014. There's a multiplayer mode, and it is part one of a trilogy. The game has had a significant graphical update since last year.
I'm very excited for Quantum Break. I mean, when they say significant graphics upgrade, I mean, they showed was kind of
for them to say significant.
Was kind of CG anyway. The gameplay that was kind of leaked looked absolutely outstanding. So if it looks even better, wow.
Yeah, I really liked Alan Wake, and this is made by the Alan Wake guys. So
every time I think of Quantum Break, I always think about that one moment that they tried to do the bendable bridge when the ship collides with it. And I always thought that was just one of those tech demo eye candies that I just wanted to make fun of. Because like, oh look guys, we can bend a bridge now. Look at that, look at that, 1080p. Whoa! Like, you know, to me it was just like, of course you would show the bending bridge scene. You want to wow people, when really for me it's like, really, you really needed a tech demo to show what the Xbox One can do, so you put in a bendable bridge with cars on it. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that from a technical perspective is pretty cool, but for me it's like, yeah, the game is totally defined by the ability to bend bridges. But anyways, I wanted to make fun of it, even though it's not really something I can really make fun of successfully. Yeah, Quantum Break should be interesting though.
I liked their last game, Alan Wake, a lot. I was actually kind of hoping for a sequel to it, but I'm curious about this. So yeah, so earlier this week they showed a trailer for Quantum Break, or not Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, and it looked amazing. Well, they're aiming for release the last week of August or early September, and graphically it is supposed to look like the CG trailer. The parkour of the element of the game is a mix of Sonic Jet Set Radio meets Ratchet and Clank. So, yeah.
Oh, let's talk about Sunset Overdrive a little bit. So, Insomniac Games released gameplay footage. They released a lot of info on Sunset Overdrive. And I'm going to admit, they announced at E3 last year, I was like, Insomniac Games is really falling apart. I mean, they had Fuse, which I personally liked Fuse, but that game did terrible.
I don't know, their weird semi-MOBA thing, but, like, Into the Nexus and A Crack in Time were both rad, and so was Resistance 3. I don't know. I think they're fine.
Resistance and Ratchet and Clank, yeah, those are established franchises. But what they did with Fuse just didn't work out right. And Sunset Overdrive, I was like, But oh my gosh, you guys see the new
Fuse was
gameplay?
focus test to death. But yes, Yeah, no, I saw the demo of fucking
Oh
Sunset
my gosh,
Overdrive.
it looks so good. I cannot wait for Sunset Overdrive. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing.
Oh man,
What do you guys think? Did you guys see it?
yeah, I saw it and I thought it looked really good. Made me really. It was one of those games that's like, oh man, I'm glad I actually bought an Xbox One now.
It's so funny. Insomniac Games was so close with Sony, and now they're doing exclusive with Microsoft. It's hilarious.
So yeah. Anyway, uh, guys, you there? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so next up is that Games with Gold announcement. They're aiming for one retail game a month and one digital game. And it's also, they are going to have, they're announcing a date when retail units can be activated as development kits. And it'll be before October 2014. To close their press conference, they are supposedly a game called Crackdown Skyline coming in 2015. And then finally a new white Xbox One with no Kinect.
Crackdown?
Crackdown is how they're closing the show, apparently.
No.
I mean, Crackdown's cool, but not a. That's
Crackdown 2 was
closer.
ass. Crackdown 2 was a giant piece of garbage, and then Crackdown 1 was alright. Like, it wasn't great, but it was fun. Yeah.
Agent.
Agent, stop doing that. Agent, stop doing that.
Agent, she is
get
close.
Me a coffee. Agent. Also, the end of the first Crackdown was really fucked up.
Yeah. I have no idea whether to think it's good or bad, but yeah, it was pretty screwed up. But yeah, Crackdown. I just remember, biggest memories I have of Crackdown. Crackdown 1. First off, I borrowed it from a friend, and I also remember the history of Crackdown, which was the only reason why anyone bought it was because of the Halo 3 beta, which, what the hell. And, let's see, I played Crackdown, and I was playing it right when my 360 started melting down. So everything was in like a reddish hue on the screen, which is pretty interesting. Bronson played Mass Effect in a reddish hue, which was also weird. When I lent him my Xbox so he can red ring it for me because he's very successful at that at the time. And yeah, I just remember scaling buildings and just having the super jump ability was really awesome. Just it's kind of addicting when you can just leap from building to building with that kind of height. And just like this is the best way to travel ever. Who needs a car ever? Driving was really lousy. And you had guns, but I spent more time running up to people and punching them instead because I have super strength, because why not? So it was kind of fun, but it kind of had a lot of problems because, the agent guy just never freaking shuts up. And, yeah, that was Crackdown 1. It was okay. Crackdown 2, I didn't care. And the closing off with a new Crackdown, really? Why did they need to continue that? Why? Because if I were to have a gut feeling about how people get excited about franchises that still have life in them and some franchises that people have forgotten and moved on, Crackdown was like one of those franchises where I'm like, yeah, people would just remember the first game for the Halo 3 beta and it was alright, and the 2 was a bad game, but why would they keep insisting on it? Why? Do they need like a superhero game to compete with Infamous? That's not going to happen.
Because it's sold. Like, it's sold. They go with what sells.
I know, but it's not good. And like, if you talk to people, so what are some of your favorite superhero games? They if I were to say, oh, what are some superhero games that you know of? Oh, I know Infamous. Infamous. Sorry, not Infamous. Oh yeah, Infamous. I have Infamous, Injustice, DC Universe Online, and I would list like Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City and Arkham Origins and what's the new one called again?
Origins.
Origins, thank you. Yeah. So, I would list those, but I would never list Crackdown, and I don't think other people would list Crackdown. So yeah, it's just one of those. Really? Because we always kind of hope for like big, exciting news as closers, because that's what we want to do. We want to leave like being super stoked for the future. And in the case of Nintendo 04, that was, hey guys, we got a new Zelda game, and here you go. And then everyone's like stoked.
So,
and for Sony, it was let's talk about used games kind of thing.
I mean,
like you want to end well, and ending with
supposedly-
Crackdown for me is kind of like a really mad way of doing it. It's not
Well-
bad because if the trailer is good, hey, that's actually all right. But I just kind of thought maybe there would be better ways of closing it off.
Overall, I kind of like Microsoft's press conference a little more. But even then, neither of these press conferences have me like, oh man, I want to play all that.
Really? You're more impressed with Microsoft than Sony's, assuming both rumored or real?
Yeah, because like Microsoft
Wow. I think
yeah.
Sony's was way better.
That said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but God, fuck, I'm putting my hopes on Nintendo. It's fucking
but here's the problem with Nintendo: is you never, ever, ever know. Like it's just a constant.
It's such a gamble. Like
it's
a
a constant
gamble.
hate-love relationship with Nintendo. They're like absolute geniuses, but at the same time they're really dumb at times.
I mean, the thing is though, is like last year they announced that new Mario, and it came out at the end of the year, and it ended up being like one of the best games of the year. So, like, you can't count them out ever. But like, fuck, man, like. I look at both these lists and I'm like, oh yeah, some of these look cool. Like a lot of these look really good, but like on the PlayStation side of this things, like I can't remember anything that's coming out this year that's exclusive to PlayStation has like me like fuck yeah, like the order looks good, but doesn't have me jumping out of my seat. And Microsoft, the only game that has that is Halo 2 Anniversary, not Halo 5, Halo 2 Anniversary. Because. I was a big Halo 2 fan back in the day.
Yeah, and like Halo 5, if they show a trailer,
like,
for Halo 5, it's gonna be like, yep, more Halo.
Yeah, like exactly. Like they had their chance at a reboot with Halo 4, and that trailer looked like it was gonna be it, but turns out, hey, the Prometheans suck ass to fight. They're not fun to fight. So yeah. And also, I thought there was going to be more changes than what they showed in that trailer. Turns out not. What else? Yeah, I don't know. Like, once again, I'm kind of like, if this stuff is true, the stuff I'm most excited for is this never comes out enough. But it's from third parties and Nintendo.
Like we don't know much about what Nintendo's going to say, right?
Nintendo, like, Nintendo
they're going to state the obvious, like, "Hey, we've got DLC for Mario Kart 8." Like they'll probably state something obvious like that, which actually, considering like Nintendo's probably going to do that with Mario Kart 8. But at the same time, it's like, well, they've got like a 1-hour show ahead, and they can't just talk about Mario Kart 8 and the future, and how Wii U's getting little software update bits in its system. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I always get my hopes up for Nintendo every year. Like, in the case of Sony and Microsoft, I might not care enough. But in the case of Nintendo, at least, I get my hopes up every year. Because, freaking, hey, if they announce a new Zelda with a trailer, I'm gonna be really suckered in.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
I'm gonna be really honest. I'm probably setting myself up for disappointment every single year. Because after watching Nintendo's ending for E3 04... I keep getting that image that they will do something like that again, when they're not.
And they just let it go, man. Just let it go. The only way that's happening, like, and even if they did do something like that, the only way it'd be like that for me is if they announced F-Zero.
Yeah, which I don't really connect with because I've never played an F-Zero game before. Speaking of which, so that's the end of the Microsoft E3 rumors, right?
Yep, that's it.
So speaking of which, something that's gotten Nintendo fans a little bit of hope is that recently when Mr. Iwata sat down and told investors, yeah, our financials aren't very good. One of the things that he did say that was positive was that he talked about how Pokemon revived the Game Boy in a massive way in the late 90s, because the Game Boy original, the gray brick thing, came out in the early 90s, I believe. And when Pokemon came out, that wasn't until like 96, 97. All of a sudden, the Game Boy had never sold that good in its entire... Like, the Game Boy had its best sales when Pokemon came out. And that was like 4 or 5 years after The Great
Well,
Brick came
I
out.
mean, like, I actually want to talk about this. Like, one game can turn everything around.
That's what
all that it
Mr.
takes.
That's what Mr. Iwata said, because he said, like, look, the Game Boy, Pokemon did that for the original Game Boy. Yes, there was Tetris, but for the Game Boy to be so old and suddenly be like have this huge burst of life because Pokemon happened, he says such a thing could happen with the Wii U. I don't think he said what it would be for the Wii U, but that got people hoping for a Pokemon game for a Wii U.
I mean, like, that's the thing, though. Like, how many consoles are, like, PS3 was, like, no one gave a shit about PS3. Suddenly Metal Gear 4 comes out, and then, like, other than, like, that was the anchor. Like, you need a game to anchor your fucking system onto. You know, unless you are, like, there are rare instances where that hasn't been the case, but for the most part, you need at least something that people can go to and be like, oh, that's why I get the system, and then I'll check out the other games.
So for Super Smash Brothers,
well, quick question regarding that: what game do you think would do that for the PlayStation 4, and which game do you think would do that for the Xbox One? I mean, for Xbox One, I definitely think Halo 5.
Halo 5.
But what do you think about for PlayStation 4?
Uncharted 4.
No, that doesn't. It could be Destiny.
Destiny is multi-platform, though.
Multi-platform,
right?
Like, if Destiny was exclusive, I'd say shit, yeah, Destiny. I don't know. Like, Infamous is kind of that. Like, for an early generation game, it's definitely doing that. But even then, like, I would say an Uncharted, like, looking at my PS4 collection and games that got me giddy over the PS4 that will only be on the PS4. You know, a Naughty Dog game, a God of War, you know, like, those would be the two. Like, you know, a David Cage game.
No.
Well, dude, Beyond and Heavy Rain both sold a shit ton of copies. Like, those things move units. Like, especially Beyond. God, that saddens me every time I think about that. But just, you know, those games sold a shit ton of copies, so... I mean, but, like, the two I think of are a Naughty Dog game, a Last of Us or an Uncharted, or God of War. You know, because Kingdom Hearts is multi-plat, Final Fantasy is multi-plat, Metal Gear is multi-plat. No one gives a shit about Resistance. You know, Jack and Daxter, kinda. You know, we are getting to that point where, like, next generation, you are pretty much like exclusives are getting few and further between, right? Like, and it's getting to the point where I probably, you know, realistically, you can almost get away with only owning one. Like, during the GameCube era, you had to own all three if you wanted to play everything. That's just how it was. Last generation, it was preferable. This generation, like, if you just own a PS4 or an Xbox One, you're going to get to see most of what is out there. You know, granted, the PS4 is probably the winner right now because of Sony's first-party studios, but still. Yeah, for Microsoft, it's Halo. For Sony, I would say it's Gears or Uncharted or Last of Us, maybe a David Cage game. You know, because I would say, like, oh, what if Rockstar does something exclusive with them, but Rockstar's...
Whatever happened to Agent? We need to see Agent.
I thought they canceled that. Did they?
Did they officially cancel it?
This would be one for if Sony can get another Souls to be exclusive, because Demon Souls was exclusive. So if they can get like Demon Souls 2 to be exclusive, that could be one, because those games sell weirdly well. Like, those games sell really well for what they are. It's strange to me. You know, maybe if they can lock down Rockstar for an exclusive game.
That would be huge. Like, imagine, like, this would be like, what if they did like Red Dead Redemption 2 exclusive to PlayStation 4?
Dude,
that would be so epic.
Catherine 2 exclusive to PlayStation 4.
As much as that'd be big to you, Ronson, not to everyone else.
Hey man, that game sold almost, like, I think it might have broke 1 million. Maybe. Hold on, let me check.
Yeah, but that's not a game. If they announce that, everyone's gonna be like, okay. Like, But if it was like Red Dead Redemption 2 exclusive to PlayStation 4, everyone's gonna be like, "Holy shit!"
I think me and the several weeaboos in the audience would be very happy about Catherine.
I don't think it's gonna really happen though, because it's kind of like
Catherine sold 900,000 copies worldwide. Damn. Well, that doesn't include digital sales, so maybe they broke 1 million if you include digital. I don't know. Oh man.
Even Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't think it's gonna be exclusive though.
Oh no, that was a joke. There's no way.
Supposedly Rockstar says they're going to have a game out on the new systems by the end of 2015, and they also recently talked about how they are working on a new Red Dead, so I mean, or they plan to work on a Red Dead.
Yeah,
so
that won't be exclusive though, no way.
Yeah, no way. Hey guys,
maybe exclusive DLC or like time. Yeah, nothing. No.
I know what would get Anthony to buy a PS4.
What?
Yakuza PS4.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yakuza.
Maybe.
Like, I'm just looking at all my exclusive PS3 games. I'm like, well, like, a Team Ico game. Well, maybe a Little Big Planet, something by that studio. Trying to look what else I have. Yeah, Sony's really weird like that. Like, the PS1, like, all the best PS1 games were, like, third-party games and stuff. So,
what was the alternative for the third parties at that point?
Nintendo or Sega, which Sega's system was retarded, and Nintendo chose to fuck up their system by making it cartridge-based.
Yeah, whereas now, it's like, you've got a $400 Xbox One, $400 PS4, and a PC that run on PC architectures.
PS4 is still the more powerful of the two, like enough to where it matters.
Slightly, which actually has gotten people talking that now that you don't have a Kinect in it anymore, because a little bit of the processing power and GPU power is used to process Kinect stuff. So if you unplug that, theoretically, your system is more powerful. However, I do believe there's a problem with that argument, though, is that Microsoft is probably going to enforce something that says you will have this many resources regardless of whether the Kinect is plugged in or not. Because what if you optimize your game so that actually, developers are probably doing it already. You optimize your game to not run on Kinect or monitor Kinect. You don't so you're using every bit of Xbox One's power. So then someone plugs their Kinect in because they say, well, I'm expecting a Skype call in the middle of my game. I'm going to plug my Kinect in. And all of a sudden, your frame rate drops off a little bit because whatever power that you needed is now taken up by the Kinect. So what's a way to make sure that it's always consistent? Always assume that a Kinect may be plugged in. So yes, theoretically, by taking the Kinect out, yes, you have a little bit more resources. It's a lot like, how you close programs on a computer to free up some power so you can run your game a little better.
Yeah,
with an Xbox One... Nah.
I mean, even with that, though, the PS4 is still a more powerful machine. I think I had that infograph posted last year where they showed the specs of all three, and just the PS4 has a more powerful GPU.
But here's the thing. Yeah, from a transistors and, hardware perspective, they're freaking both AMD APUs. They're really, really similar, but PS4 has a little bit more. Now, there is one thing that might change that, though, is that Microsoft, because they have DirectX, they could say, hey guys, we got DirectX 12. And what DirectX 12 is that what they're trying to do is trying to bring programmers closer to the hardware so there isn't as much bloat as there was in DirectX 11, which could theoretically make games run faster because you don't have as much fat to deal with when you code your graphics, which could close the gap.
I don't think so.
Microsoft is bringing DirectX 12 to PCs, and they could put DirectX 12 on the Xbox One, and all of a sudden that gap suddenly might be gone, because Sony doesn't use DirectX. They use OpenGL. That's the other major graphics API out there, and DirectX 12. And the reason why this is because AMD came out with this thing for PCs called Mantle, which because it allows programmers to get closer to the hardware, you get like some pretty big frame rate increases. And so because of that, DirectX 12 is now trying to do the same thing. It could erase the gap, or it could not. We don't know yet. We will see. And I'm pretty sure Microsoft is going to try it, and I think Microsoft is going to try and put it on there because, at least it would say, we got more out of less. What now? Just a thought.
All right. Well, anyway, so that's that. We got any other topics to talk about, or are we covering questions now?
That's it. I think we're into the questions now.
All right. Let me refresh the page one last time.
Well, I feel like I might be missing a resource.
All right. So we got 2 questions. One from Jay Smith. If Sony really delivers that conference, they are going to get a lot of praise. Who do you guys have the highest hopes for during E3 2014?
I really do have the highest hopes for Sony here because it's just Sony. They came off such a strong start with the PlayStation 4, but they've had a lot of changes too. They've had a lot of companies resize their company. They've had big names such as Jack Tretton, no longer with Sony. But the PlayStation 4 is off to a great start. They have Project Morpheus now. So they have a lot to show, a lot to really prove how the PlayStation 4 is going to continue and really continue innovating. But I have high hopes for Microsoft too. It's like Microsoft has a lot to accomplish too. I'm looking forward to seeing what Nintendo has. I'm really excited to see what EA has and even Ubisoft. But yeah, I have high expectations for everyone. But I'd say right now, first would be Sony and then Microsoft.
I would say for me, it's Nintendo, then Sony, then Microsoft. What about you, Anthony?
I feel like maybe it's going to go Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. Because Sony...
what you are most excited for? Like, that's what they're asking.
Well, I'm going to say Nintendo. I'm most excited for is Nintendo. Because, I don't own a PlayStation 4 right now. So I can't enjoy whatever PlayStation 4 I'm enjoying right now.
Let me say this right now. If I do go back to AT&T, it's not likely because I love my current job schedule, but if I do, that may change.
Well, you can take your Tom Nook tactic and shove it, so just no.
You'll just refuse it? Just fuck no. Get that thing away from me.
Yeah, it's just going to be like, no, I am not going to be in-depth to Mr. Tom Nook Fury, okay?
What am I going to do with this PS4 then, Anthony?
Give it to someone else you want to get put into debt for the next 4 or 5 years.
What am I going to do with this PS4?
Give it to someone else. Sure, you have a large list of friends who could, owe you for a PS4.
I do. I know a lot of people that want to buy a PS4, actually.
Yeah, there you go. See, problem solved. And I don't have to accept the thing and put myself in debt.
But you don't have to put yourself in debt. It's a gift.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Tom Nook said the same thing. I'm gifting you a roof, but if you want more, you need to pay up.
Yeah, and you paid off that house eventually, right?
No. Because I wanted a basement for it.
Okay,
because I wanted a basement for it.
Well, you know what? I'm not asking you to buy the basement. I'm just asking you to fucking accept the PS4.
No, I'm not going to put myself in debt now. I forgot what the original topic is. What was I just talking about? What was I just talking? Oh, yes. Okay, which conference which of the big 3 I still am most interested in? I'd say Nintendo because I don't have a PS4, so I can't really enjoy what all the PS4 owners are enjoying right now. I don't have an Xbox One either.
Nintendo is such a wild card, right? Like
at this point, if both of these conferences happen the way that we are reading these rumors to be, we already know what's going to happen if it follows these things. It's still a big surprise. Nintendo, on the other hand, man, what do they have? I mean, it could go either way. They could either give a very good showing and say, hey guys, we got games, or they could be like Nintendo and show their love for pie charts and graphs like in 07, 08.
Well, '07 they had a good show. Well, you can like that's the thing with Nintendo. You can get an '06, a 2010, or 2011, or you could get a fucking '08, '09. Like it's such a fucking just like random thing with them. Like it's just like potentially stuff. I'm telling you right now, Mario Kart has been a test for F-Zero. Going upside down, hover carts. I'm sorry, like this Mario Kart is a giant test to see if F-Zero works. I'm still betting
Okay.
that.
Okay.
They've been working on that new Zelda. They're like Retro Studios just finished Donkey Kong, so what are they working on now?
Another Donkey Kong.
I
They've
would be
made a lot.
A-okay with.
They've made a lot of those actually. They made like Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii, then the 3D version for the 3DS, and then they made Tropical Freeze for the Wii U. So
I'd be
quite a lot of
A-okay with
Donkey
that because Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is the best game of the year so far. That game is so fucking good.
Well, that's gonna be quite hard when you're talking about, I don't know, game of the year.
Yeah, well, dude, if that thing is still first off, this year has been a failure. If that game is still the best game of the year by the time Game of the Year rolls around, it's like wow, Destiny, Batman, Dragon Age, Halo,
Titanfall didn't do as well as I thought it would.
Titanfall's a good game. Like it's
Yeah,
not
it's
bad.
good, but I thought it was gonna be like one of those. Oh, it's gonna be the next big thing for the year because, like, I thought it was gonna be like a big rival as far as sales wise against Infamous because I was like, oh man, it's Titanfall. It's made by the Infinity guys. You're talking about giant mech machines, and yeah.
Two, I think the problem with it is one, it's linked to the Xbox One, and two, it doesn't have a single player, and then it's multiplayer. It's like it's very it has its own vibe, but at times it does have a Call of Duty feel to it. I think that Titanfall 2 is going to be the one that really blows up. But oh man, it's so weird. Like it's so man, I'm just thinking like Nintendo has so much IP under their belt, just like so much good shit that they could show. On the other hand, though, like Nintendo comes to bite you in the ass on occasion. So I mean,
the middle of the road approach I can think of is they're gonna say a few things that are going to make us go like, yes, that's going to be the greatest thing ever. Like maybe say a new Bayonetta 2 trailer, or maybe a game that we didn't know that was coming to the Wii. That's going to be awesome. But being Nintendo, they're also going to say some things that's going to make us go, what? Really? Like maybe they're going to announce a really dumb peripheral.
Bayonetta 2 is out today. Go buy it.
No, not that. But they would probably announce some dumb peripheral because Nintendo has made quite a few dumb peripherals before. Especially with the Wii. Hey, Wii Zapper.
Wii Vitality Sensor. They're bringing that back.
Why did they probably would have charged you $20 for that little piece of plastic too, believe it or not.
Probably.
And it would have sold a bit because of the number of people that have Wii Fit.
So, next question.
So just finishing the thought. So I'm gonna say a few things that's gonna make us really stoked. You're gonna say a few things that's gonna make us go, really? We don't really care, like a dumb peripheral. And then they're gonna say, hey guys, we say this every year, but third parties love it. Here's a montage, and it shows us about 80% of games that we've never seen before, nor do we think will people care.
Or they'll show you that, and it's a bunch of games that are on other systems, also.
Yeah, that's a problem with the Wii U, especially.
I could play Call of Duty Ghosts on my Wii U, or I can play it on any other platform, also.
Yeah, it's like Advanced Warfare coming to Wii U.
Great, awesome. So I'm gonna refresh the page one last time, but the supposed final question here. Where's the Solid Kratos question? That's bothering me. I'm don't like
sneak it in time. It's like watch right when we get done recording, that's gonna show up.
Yep. I agree with Nick. This Call of Duty actually has me excited. The fact that they're now working 3 years, the game has probably had a lot of experience with the next gen console. And I do have high hopes. I don't know, like it's cross-gen. Like once again, I said it before. They're abusing my man crush on Kevin Spacey to get me to to buy. Well, not buy it, but play it and maybe buy it. So
Yeah, I
well,
gotta say, this is the first Call of Duty in a long, 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 long time that I've actually been somewhat interested and excited for, just because of the advanced warfare aspect. The fact that they have gone to a 3-year development cycle, the new trailer really enticed me. We'll see what happens. It kind of reminds me what that Sledgehammer is working on this one, but we'll see what happens. I'll be interested. I mean, we're sure to see it during Microsoft's press conference. So, yeah.
I am skeptical still. Like, here's the thing. That was a very good trailer. And they sure use Kevin Spacey, and that suckers people a heck. Like what? So many people have watched that trailer now.
Side topic: Did you watch that House of Cards parody I sent you from GameSpot?
First minute or two of it. Wow.
So fucking funny. So good.
But I don't know. That was a very good trailer, and they used Kevin. So they had Kevin Spacey there, and that got everyone's attention. It's like freaking top thing on YouTube for a little bit. But here's the thing: what we saw was a trailer. Trailers is marketing.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And Bronson and I talked about this last week about we were toying with an idea of possibly taking a mediocre game and then making a really, really good fan trailer out of it, which kind of hides a lot, because that's what a trailer is supposed to do. It's basically a really big, more polished commercial. And well, what are you supposed to do? Well, you're not going to go out and say, "Oh, our game is mediocre. Check it out. There's nothing innovative here. Weapons? Oh, well, this is Battlefield 4 with COD face on it." You don't see them say that in their commercials ever. You don't say that. Like what? Like it's not like, "Hey, we're the Gamer Access. We make really dumb jokes and we're not very funny half of the time." Would we say that about ourselves? No, we wouldn't. We would say we would say like, "Hey, this is the Gamer Access. We are providing you quality content with some awesome humor. Check out our podcast." Like we would say stuff like that. Highlights. Trailers show highlights, and sometimes the video editing team is quite separate from the development team, which is why you sometimes get trailers that don't seem to be in the same theme as the movie itself. So I somehow have a sneaking suspicion this game is going to be mediocre, because what they're trying to do is that from the
last game, look, Modern Warfare 3, which was their last game, was literally a roller coaster of explosions for 3.5 hours, and in my opinion, the worst multiplayer in the series.
Okay, yeah, but you can judge from the title, Advanced Warfare. It's like they're trying to do Modern Warfare and trying to re-innovate things like Modern Warfare, which is probably why they spent a lot of time trying to make sure this trailer looked very good. And mission accomplished. Your trailer looks very good. As for your actual game, yeah, I don't know. All I know is that I don't really care. If anything, it's going to be one of those, well, if you guys somehow have a very good story, I'm going to really enjoy sitting down and watching your story on YouTube. That's how I feel about it, because I just don't care about Call of Duty gameplay anymore. I used to. Modern Warfare 2 I used to, but that was like 4 or 5 years ago, so yeah, I don't care very much about that anymore. Anyways.
Alright, well, gonna refresh the page one last time. Give Solid Kratos his last chance. And then we're gonna call it a day. Good show this week, guys. We clocked in a little over, 2 hours?
Yeah, almost 2 hours, or at 2 hours.
Where's J Sway been? He hasn't commented in a while.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, what's up, peeps? Alright, well, anyway, guys, and Jay Smith, welcome back. I know it's been a while since you commented. Hey, comment every week, guys. We want your comments.
Yeah, we really do appreciate them.
Crap! Is my computer? No, my computer's not on. Crap! Need to check out your comments. I'm out.
What?
We have a comments page on iTunes, and I haven't checked that in a long time.
Oh.
So give me a moment to see if I can pull that up on this really slow laptop of mine.
Hold on.
Or have Boston check it on iTunes. That too.
Yeah. Nope. Some guy named Nick212004 said informative and comical gaming podcast. Love it.
Yeah.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah, that guy sounds like a real jerk.
I know, right?
What do you mean? He says he loves our stuff. How could he possibly be a jerk?
Well, you've listened to this show. I mean, you edit it. You know this show's garbage. So.
Yeah, I probably just said it too. I mean, I just literally said, we don't go out and say, welcome to the Gamer Access. Half our stuff is really boring. Yeah, I back on my own employer. I am so fired. In addition to blowing up that spoiler on what we were going to talk next.
God fucking damn it, Anthony. Fucking, you get your shit together.
Yeah, I should. Heck, I'll probably play some Mario and buy an Xbox One, and then everyone will be like, what the hell, man?
What I wouldn't. I would say, hey, Anthony, buy Killer Instinct and get good at it with me.
Yeah. If I ever get good at it.
I'm actually thinking of because, alright, so John, our new contributor, he's into fighting games also, and I've been kind of thinking about this new series where we, like, demo and play different fighting games. So if you'd be into that, say so.
I don't know.
Call it Friday Night Fights, and we'll post it every Friday night.
That sounds like a pretty decent title, actually.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Alright, well. Alright, guys, well, I think that's it. Yeah, we're on iTunes, YouTube, all that good crap.
Subscribe.
We're no longer on Daily Motion.
Look, if you got an Apple device, subscribing is very easy because, like, what? Does it automatically download the podcast in when you do subscribe?
Yes, it automatically downloads it for you.
Sweet. So if you got an Apple device, great. If you got an Android device like me, okay, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a difficulty.
It's why I have like 15 episodes of the Bombcast I have yet to listen to on my phone.
Got a lot of catching up to do then.
Well, no, it's like I'll skip a week here and there and just like, oh fuck, well, I'm behind now.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, anything else, guys?
No, I can't really think of anything.
Oh, Nick, can we announce that thing?
Should we let the audience know?
Gee, the thing.
I wonder, this thing. What's this thing?
It's the thing where we go and do other things at the place.
Exactly.
At a certain time.
Because I love you, the audience, I will let Bronson announce it.
Alright. We're going to E3, bitches!
Whoa!
Fucking Christ. It's so happy.
We are all. This is going to be the first time. In fact, this is going to be the first time we have more than just me at E3. With this, at least since with the new staff. I know what the staff had before, I had a couple guys go, and I was too young to go at the time. But since I've been able to go to E3, this is going to be the very first time I have another person there with me from the site, and this is actually going to be crazy because it's not just one, it's not just two, it's not even just three, it's going to be four. So it's going to be me, Anthony, Bronson, Kyrie, and Bremen. We're all going to be at E3 this year. 5?
Yeah, it's all five of us, including Nick.
Thanks to a sponsorship from our friends over at Seagate. So gotta give a shout out to them.
We'll make you proud, Seagate.
Seagate, I am tempted to buy your hard drive because I need storage upgrade, so I'll probably buy it.
On the other side note with this, as long as we're announcing stuff, the first one is launching this week. We're super happy about that. I'm gonna be honest, the first two are kind of rough. They were definitely us figuring things out, but by the next week we're planning to launch 2 and 3. I definitely I don't know about your opinion, Anthony, but I think 3 is definitely where we find our rhythm.
Okay, yeah.
But so look out for those. I'm not sure how many of you have actually like watched 6 Minute Access recently, but we're doing PS4 games now,
Infamous
and
is up.
Thank you, Sony.
yeah, and we have our new contributor, John. Uh, you know, he's trying out for a spot on the staff. We'll see how that goes. If you like him, request more of him. If you don't like him, I'll tell him what he needs to fix.
Bron's gonna say something like "fuck off."
You're doing it wrong.
If you don't
doing
like
it wrong.
if you don't like him, we'll just tell him to fuck off.
Exactly. Write better. Keep being bad at this, and we'll make you review big rigs.
Is that terrible driving game that just doesn't work in any conceivable way?
I will send you the Alex Navarro
We'll
review.
make him review the next version of Vampire Rain.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. That'd be pretty good.
Gosh, that game, seriously, that is the worst game I think I've ever played.
You have obviously not played Big Rigs.
I have
Isn't
not
it like
played
that?
Big Rig.
Like, I think I remember seeing XPlay did a review of it. And I just remember seing a picture of a screenshot saying you win before the race even started. It's just completely non-functional.
I have a copy of Dark on my computer because we were given like 3 free codes for it. I gave one away, and then Aaron and I each got a code.
You know,
And
maybe
so-
we should take one of those terrible games and make a fan trailer. Like, I have Hunted Demon's Forge, which I never installed into my computer. And I got it through this
will-
Bethesda pack sale on Steam, which came with Skyrim and, what's that thing? What's that other game called again? Vanish or something? No.
Blink. It came with Blink or Brink, not Blink.
Brink. Yes, I played Brink for a little bit. That was okay. And
That game's alright. Yeah.
it
it's
came
not
in
bad.
with Hunted Demon's Forge, which was a really, really bad game. But hey, it came with a Bethesda pack, so I really had no choice to, remove it from the pack. So, yeah, that was a very bad game from what I read.
Yeah, Dark was not good. I own Dark. That game was not great. What else do I own that kind of sucks? Let's see. I'm trying to find games that are like objectively bad. I don't own that many of those. I own a bunch of. I own some kind of crappy N64 games though, so we can dig through those.
We could.
Anyway, guys. Also, I want to announce this summer I'll probably be doing a lot of live streaming on the TGA channel just because, I'll have free, that way, like, I've been wanting to do it recently, but, like, scheduling stuff kind of got in the way, but pretty soon, at least during the summer months, I'm going to try and make it so I try and live stream at least once a week, so now TGA's Twitch will be active, so tell me what you want that is on PS4 or 3 or Xbox One or PC that I could stream. Hey Anthony, by the way, we can stream now, at least if you have an NVIDIA card without a second PC.
Yeah, the
Because
GeForce Experience thing, right?
Yeah, they put out the patch for GeForce, so now 700 series laptops can do that shit.
Oh, well, good for you. I don't have a 700 series card.
Well,
I have a 500 series card. Woo,
let me
for old stuff.
check what.
You don't need to check for me. I already kind of know. For me to upgrade to a 760 Ti would be like $250 or something like that.
No, I wasn't checking the price. I was checking what graphics cards. Yeah, you need a 600 series or higher to do that.
Yeah, I only have like a 550, so a little short.
Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, you guys can watch me be horrible at Dota 2. Oh, but dude, I played Dota 2 last night, and I was like, "Oh, I'm finally starting to learn this character. I'm starting getting decent," and I just get dominated like so hard. There's this one guy on the other team who hit level 25, and I was covering the top lane, and I was just getting wrecked the entire game. Anyway,
Okay.
so
I think that does it.
that does it. E3, new
It's gonna be a
shows,
blast.
comics.
Let us know. Be sure to send in any requests you want for E3. I guess the easiest way to do that is email me at admin@thegamerx.com. You can also just go to the homepage. Emails on there.
Oh, by the way, I actually have a question for them for E3. I want us to do an eating challenge. Do you want us to do one? Because I was at the 7-Eleven by my job the other day, and I saw one of those giant Rice Krispie treats, and I was just like, "Yep, we should do that."
That somehow got
Here's
me.
the only thing,
That somehow
though,
got the three of us here.
If we do this, I am making it a rule where the only day we are allowed to do this is after the last day of E3.
That's
because
fine.
I don't need us all getting sick and then needing to cover E3. Like, I can just see it now. We're doing an eating contest like a day before E3 begins, and we wake up all like sick as shit. That would just be terrible.
Well, at least for you, Nick, that would be convenient. For me and Bronson, Bremen, we've got an 8-hour drive after that eating contest.
Even then, I'm fine with
Better
it.
than having to cover an event after an eating contest.
Yeah, like let me say, like I definitely think that we'll live if we. Yeah,
we'll definitely live. I just don't want us.
Yeah,
I don't want someone getting diarrhea or being constipated while they're at E3.
I agree that we should do it the last day. It's just I'm not sure which one we should do because there's some good ones. They're like there's this hot sauce one. There's the Rice Krispie one I told you about. Personally, it's summer. It's going to be hot and in LA. So I personally like this one. It's called the half-gallon challenge. And we each get...
Yeah, see, the problem with that is that putting that much dairy is probably not going to be good for me. So that kind of invalidates the eating challenge because I'm going to have to stop because I'm not full, but I'm feeling a bit sick.
Okay.
Burgers are always a good place to start.
That's if we can find a place to, like the thing is though, this has to be like I personally like the Rice Krispie treat one. I think would be good, like an entire one of the like we'd have to. Nate, do you know a place near you that would sell those like asinine sized Rice Krispie treat like cheats?
If 7-Eleven sells them, I have a 7-Eleven I can walk to from my apartment.
Like my 7-Eleven does, so I hope like if yours doesn't, well, like, maybe I should buy them before the trip.
Yeah, do that. There you go.
So I don't know, like damn Anthony and your lactose intolerance.
It's not
lactose intolerant.
No, I'm not lactose intolerant. It's just that some certain foods, if I have a bit too much of it, my stomach starts feeling really ill. Like sugar. Like I can't really have too much sugar because it's not like I have diabetes, but after a while I get a little stomach sick from eating like enough gummy worms. Yeah, something like that.
So
Health
this was a challenge we thought of for PAX Prime. How about a cake? Each person gets a cake.
That's like bad sugar though. For me, it's like, my goodness, why can't we just stick to something basic like meat?
Because see, I'm the other way around. Like if I eat too much meat, I'm just like, ugh, feel sweaty and like I'm gonna die.
Give me a steak challenge. I can eat steak all day.
Well, steak would be an exception. I can fucking...
Yeah, but steak is very expensive.
Yeah, each of us ordering a 72-ounce steak probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Well, we probably should find some Asian place that has a beef bowl.
Bowl. Cat, dog, and beef bowl.
Cat, dog, and beef bowl.
There's this thing in Persona 4, I think Bronson calls it the beef bowl challenge.
Yep.
Where it's like meat and rice, but there's so much of it that you can't finish. Like, it's kind of like a Panda Bowl that you get at Panda Express, only deeper. And those Panda Bowls are deceptively small. Like, they don't look like a lot, but when you start eating, you're like, wow, this is more food than I thought.
Every time I go to Panda Express, I just leave unsatisfied. That's why if I want like cheap Chinese food in the area, I go to Egg Roll King. Egg Roll King is the best shitty fast Chinese food in the area. I think Egg Roll King is better than Panda, actually. I also think it's better than Dynasty. I actually think Dynasty is a really shitty restaurant for those of you who live in the Marino. No, it's a local place just called Dynasty, and it fucking
there's
sucks.
A place out here called Chi Dynasty that I don't like.
Yeah.
Good thing is when you guys are out here, like when you guys are chilling at my apartment, I tweeted this and Bronson responded. literally, you have. I said over 75. I'd be willing to bet there's over 100 like food places to choose from here, and I'm not joking. Like I live in downtown Glendale, and it's like you guys will see it's so nice here.
Yeah,
Like you do not need
I
to worry
bet.
about what food can we get. It's more like what do you want.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be hard at all.
cheap.
That's gonna be
That's
great.
that's what I want. I want
Yeah,
cheap.
that's the thing.
Well,
If you're
there's an
having a
In and
food
Out.
challenge,
There's an In and Out that you can walk to from my apartment.
what? So
Yeah,
we're gonna
that-
order like 5 double doubles and say who could eat it all the fastest
Oh,
without.
Oh god,
raping?
that's just asking for a fucking stomach problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
see, yeah. Also, we gotta talk to Kyrie and Bremen about this because everyone has different food preferences. I think the Rice Krispie treat one is something that everyone could do because it doesn't have
Yeah,
dairy.
I think the Rice Krispie one's good.
Like it's a little sweet, but our Rice Krispie treats aren't like super sweet. We could try a Fluffer Nutter challenge if you guys want to try that one.
What the fuck's a fluffer nutter?
It's okay. So it's from the Northeast, particularly Massachusetts. What it is it's a peanut butter and marshmallow paste sandwich.
Oh, that sounds good.
Dude, it is. It's really good. You get that. I forgot what kind of marshmallow paste you get, but fucking get marshmallow paste and peanut butter. It's so fucking good.
Sounds good.
Let's see. I'm gonna start looking into these because the one I don't want to try is the salsa challenge.
No.
That one sounded like just misery. Especially because have you guys ever thrown up hot
Oh
salsa?
yeah,
or
it's
hot
the
salsa?
worst.
Like that happened to me recently. I got a little bit sick and put this really hot sauce on tacos, and just I threw up outside of the vomit window, and oh my god, it felt like my throat was just.
The only challenge I completely object to, so if you guys are thinking about it, don't even comment and say it, the cinnamon challenge. I've already done that.
Oh fuck that! Yeah.
Yeah.
What challenge?
The
Cinnamon challenge.
I've already done
Oh.
that. I've already done that.
And I'm talking about more eating challenges, not like stupidity challenges.
I ate a whole freaking tablespoon of cinnamon once. It was the worst ever. I was in pain for hours.
Oh my god. I like once again, my favorite would be the half gallon, but Anthony is opposed to ice cream. Yeah.
Half gallon of ice cream?
Yeah, you have to
Oh,
do a
that's
half.
easy. I could
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, no. Dude, and we were doing it we were doing this when I was in high school. Oh my god. Just be fucking like in high school, especially like Nick, you were a fucking athlete, so you know this. After practice,
Oh,
Oh.
god.
dude, just the fridge gone.
Yeah.
I remember my dad, like my freshman year when my dad was still around, like he purposely would make dinner while I was at practice because he knew the first thing I'd do when I was home was eat. And I remember this one time he made a bunch of steaks. He made 7 steaks and potatoes and salad, and I ate 3 of the fucking steaks.
Yeah.
And 2 of the potatoes and some salad. It was just like Jesus. You know?
Oh yeah, there was times after baseball practice, yeah. I'd go home and I'd eat probably what my brother, my sister, my mom, and dad ate together.
Yeah, no, I remember one time my dad made this huge salad. It was supposed to be for everyone. I ate 3/4 of it. just like this huge salad. Just nope, mine. Yeah. I don't know. Now Anthony, as far as burger challenges go, there's this one at the one at the Cheesecake Factory that I think we should try. Well,
You can walk to. We have that's another good thing. A Cheesecake Factory you can walk to from here.
Okay, yeah, that's.
There's an Olive Garden you can walk to here. There's a California Pizza Kitchen you can walk to here.
Food.
Why no Italian food? Italian food's great.
Well, I guess
seriously,
to be honest,
name a type of food and you can get it by walking distance from here. And when I say walking distance, I mean literally walk there in 5 minutes tops. It's awesome.
What's wrong with Italian food, Anthony? You got a problem with Italian food?
Yeah, you could.
Pasta.
Oh,
Well,
pasta.
to be honest, when I was at Olive Garden only once, but whatever I was served, it was it's okay, but it's not for me.
Well, yeah, that's because you were at Olive Garden. That's not.
Yeah.
That's not real Italian. That's
Yeah, I know.
That's Americans fucking up our food. Like
You reminded me of the Grand Theft Auto 4 radio commercial. It doesn't have any Italian taste. That's because it is an American restaurant with Italian look on it, however that commercial went. It's like total lack of nutrients with no taste.
Oh, so I'm friends with Solid Kratos on Facebook. I know where he is. He graduated today or in recent days.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, go to college. Unless you want to do this, then I don't know. Actually, you probably should. If you want to do this, you probably still should go to college. But everyone's way into video games is different. That's what I found. Like half the people in this industry have ridiculous degrees. Like some of them are doctors even, and then half of them barely have a high school diploma. So.
Very diverse, that's for sure.
Yeah. Alright, well, I think we're just about done.
Yeah, I think that concludes episode number 90, guys.
Fucking Cheesecake Factory, so hyped.
Oh yeah, you can really walk there, it's awesome.
That just made this trip even better.
Hey, I thought it was pretty freaking awesome when I looked at a map of some of the places that we would be stopping by throughout our time down there, and I found this shopping center that's like, there's a Denny's, a Starbucks, and a Wendy's. Which is freaking awesome because
right outside of where Microsoft and EA are having their press conferences.
Like, it's freaking amazing because Brennan likes Starbucks, Bronson loves the Baconator, and I love Denny's, or at least one of their burgers from Denny's. So it's just like, this is the perfect place to stop by for lunch before we head in.
Trust me, when you guys really like venture out here, like when it comes to food and shopping and all that, there's nothing to worry about. It's all here.
It's Los Angeles. Or the LA area, I should say.
Yeah. Los Angeles County, yeah. When people say Los Angeles, they're pretty much saying Los Angeles County.
You could tell I was not a local when I said like stuff like Westminster being part of Los Angeles. That's actually Orange County.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could really tell I was not a local because everything down there is just like one giant lump of buildings, and it's kind of hard to figure out where border lines are.
I know if we do PAX this year, one thing I'm really going to be excited for is I know the area up there pretty well, but then every time I'm up there, I hang with a couple of locals who just can show us like everything.
They didn't show you the unicorn though.
They did not show me unicorn jizz, Nick. That's unique to you and Emily.
What? Oh, that. I don't remember how
Seattle. That's the first thing that comes to mind now.
I don't even remember how that went. I just remember the phrase.
Oh yeah, we went to this bar. This gay bar.
Oh, that, yeah.
Called the
Unicorn. A gay bar.
And they had this drink called Unicorn Jizz.
Right. Okay. Wow.
I've been
amazing.
Yeah. Man, I've been to a gay bar once in my life, and 2 dudes tried to hit on me.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't have any guys try to hit on me.
Yeah. Which is pretty interesting, actually.
When we went, it was kind of like during the day, so like no one was really there.
Yeah, see, I was dragged.
Plus, I was with a big group of it was both guys and girls, so I think they kind of knew that I wasn't gay.
See, I was dragged with a pair of coworkers when I was working at AT&T, and
Were they all guys?
It was a couple guys, couple girls, and one of them was gay. So he's like, "Oh no, you guys gotta check out this fucking bar," and I didn't have a problem with it. But like when I was there, a fucking couple gay guys tried to fucking pick up on me, and I was just like, sorry to disappoint you, dude, but no. Because in the fucking gay community, I am what is known as a bear.
Man, would that have fit the bear factor really well?
What am I considered, Bronson?
You would probably be considered what is known as a cub.
A cub?
Whoa.
So, what a bear is a heavy-set, hairy, gay gentleman. And at the time, I had a beard and long hair, so that fit. And that was definitely heavy-set because working at AT&T, I was pounding Mountain Dews every fucking hour. So So yeah, that was a thing. And why it is a cub is because usually bears date really good looking, in shape dudes, and that are their boyfriends, and they are known as cubs.
Oh
What?
my gosh.
Okay.
Dude,
Wow, this is why the show is called Unscripted Access.
yeah, no, man, living in Reno, I've learned about a lot of shit that just, man, you don't. Let's put it this way: I'm 23 years old, and there are some 50-year-olds who have not seen the shit I have seen. Um, uh,
Oh, that is funny.
So, do we really want to end it on this note?
Anthony's like, guys.
Yeah.
Anthony, you want me to make you feel more uncomfortable?
No.
Alright.
I love how we announced that we're going to E3 and that turns into Cubs and Bears. And unicorn jizz.
Well,
How did we even get there again? Like sometimes
Because we started talking about
that's the whole
Seattle.
point of Unscripted Access. It's like, how did we even get there? It's like, how did we get to this topic again? That's like the motto of our podcast.
Alright, well,
it's like amnesia. It's like, how did we get here again? It's like we all just went drunk in our brains for like half a minute and just realized, wait, how did we get here?
Yeah.
Alright, well.
Alright, well, on that note.
Later. Bye.
Thank you guys for listening. You're out.
We love you.